Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost!
But every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is you like having a good time. Forget yourself now.
If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey! The man with the finest beard on this screen. Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
And listen between two beers.
Getting down.
Hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And y'all know what that means.
Nope.
It is
Don't know what it means.
It is another episode of Between Two Beards. Not just any episode, Pluggo. It is the Go Home to Wrestlemania episode.
Isn't that wild?
Between Two Beards.
We finally made it to WrestleMania.
We are a mere 48 hours away from the granddaddy of them all.
Mrs. Pluggo's birthday.
You know? The second most important fact of the day.
What? No, it's the first.
First
it's
for you.
First, buddy.
Yes.
And I have to work.
Oh, lame.
The whole holiday, WrestleMania being later in the year, the whole holiday, it's messed up everything for me. But we will make it work. We will power through because it is the granddaddy of them all. Can I tell you something, JPJ?
You can.
So you always tell me I'm really good at this stuff, and I appreciate you. And I always say, I suck at this stuff. You know how bad I am at content creation? It didn't dawn on me till yesterday at like midnight that I can go live on my Facebook page whenever I'd like.
Whenever you want. Yeah, I don't know why you don't.
I don't either. I did this morning. It was a lot of fun. I did this afternoon. It was a lot of fun. Talked about some WrestleMania to try it out. And I'm sitting there like, am I this bad at content that I didn't realize I could have done this the whole time?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's better late than never.
I guess.
It's better late than ever.
And I mean, was like, there's no way I'm good at this.
Yeah. We also have, a rare occasion that's happening on this Thursday evening. Is there's a live collision going on tonight. Obviously, with WrestleMania being this Saturday, AEW made the smart decision to not run Collision against WrestleMania.
Well, to be fair, though, it's also, the NBA playoffs are this Saturday, so they take precedent as well. So.
Yeah. So right now we do have Collision on. So any updates that will happen right now, let me tell you, the Death Riders have started the show and they're beating up cameramen and announcers. And Claudio just destroyed a camera because they're very angry because last night, to end that wonderful episode of Dynamite, they lost the trios titles.
Do you like that they lost the trios titles to the Ops with Hobbs in it now since Hook was hurt and couldn't make it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I think the Ops were the team that should have beat them regardless
of who the third man is.
Yes. And I feel like, they played the angle with Hook. I don't know if Hook really is injured or it's all just storyline, whatever. But either way, I feel like when Hook comes back, I feel like they should be able to freebird it, kind of how like Moxley was able to just kind of step in They're in the same exact venue as last night. Awesome the way they turned that into a wrestling show. I was lucky enough to be in the building last night for Dynamite. It was wonderful. The best Dynamite of the year. It was just an excellent episode. And they really turned that venue into like a really cool looking wrestling venue. It was very cool to see them because I had been there before for like a concert or two, but to see it kind of transformed into the wrestling.
I saw your beautiful face on my television screen for a hot second.
I didn't. Cool. Because the main event, I was kind of where I was stationed was kind of near the, because it's like a typical theater. So there's an entrance on each side. Yeah. And then you just kind of go down to the theater seating. And I was standing kind of right next to one of the entrances, and the Ospreay Takeshita match.
Yes, it is a film. Yes,
the Ospreay Takeshita match, which was just Christ. Like that match of the year for AEW, maybe. Like it was just unbelievable. And that match ends, and then I start to see like AEW people like shuffling around me, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, are they going to tell me to move or
they kick you out?
Yeah, like, what, am I in the wrong spot? Like, what's going on? And then I look over and I start to see a cameraman and like a white light, like a big light and stuff being put near the entrance, and I'm like, oh yeah, the Death Ride. Like they're going to come. They come through the crowd. They're going to come through here. And then I was like, okay. And I was kind of the only one there at first. And I kind of took a few steps, and the guy was like, all right, don't go past this. And I was like, all right, cool. And then everybody started like rushing over. And I was like, back up, guys. Back up. All right. No one gets past me. I'm the barrier. I was like, back up.
This is my shot. Get out of my shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, just to be honest, that you weren't trying to be a barrier. Like, do not get in front. This is like, my camera. This is my moment.
I'm at the line. This guy said, I'm at the line. I'm the line.
This is my moment. I did not get to go to Dynamite last night. I went to a National Honor Society induction ceremony for my oldest son. So congratulations to him. He's the smartest kid alive. I walked into the building, didn't know where to go, saw their principal and said, I'm just shocked I have a kid in National Honor Society because I, in fact, do not have brains.
Yeah.
But I caught
National Honor Society. That's good stuff. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I caught the back end. I caught everything up. I thought Athena and Mercedes absolutely crushed it. I wish that would have been the final. I'm just being honest. And this is absolutely no disrespect to Chris Statlander, but it does not feel the same.
Well, why are you just throwing Jamie Hayter? Like it's like she
or Jamie Hayter. I feel like it's going to be Stat. I feel like
here's my thing. Now I will ask you this because we talked about this a little bit earlier today on Firmly. We had our pal Jose on the air join Drew and I.
Oh wow, I was off today.
What the hell, Pluggo?
Wow.
You weren't even in the chat. You were off and you weren't in the chat. I would have invited you on if I knew you were free. Could have done the four.
That's awesome.
But we talked about it. Now, because they ended up being in the semifinal instead of the final, and the way that match ended, great match, just a terrific match, but the way that it ended with kind of the roll-up finish, like, Mercedes didn't hit her finisher and lay out Athena, right? Like, she kind of survived the match.
Keep her strong.
Does that change your opinion on who's going to win the Owen? Because it kind of not swayed me, but like now I don't think I'm 100% on board with Mercedes winning like I was before. Because I feel like the bigger match for Mercedes is a match with Athena in Texas in her home state. I feel like that's a bigger, and I feel like the way that match ended last night, I don't think that was the one and only. I think that was the first. If that makes sense.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's the bigger match is Tony Storm and Mercedes.
I don't disagree, but I feel like Tony.
I know is when I watched it and I looked that I said no disrespect to Hayter or Statlander, but I was just like that. Oh man, that's the final right there. We just watched it. That's your Owen winner right there. But
it was very good. It was very, very good.
Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this out. Let's get some likes going. It's WrestleMania season.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania week. Let's get to 25 likes. I don't think that's shooting too high. It's WrestleMania week, y'all. What the heck? So smash that like button. Tell your friends.
If you get to 150 likes, JPJ will take his shirt off. As we talked about last week.
He said it, not me. He said it, not me.
You didn't say no?
Yep. He said it, not me. So right off the jump, though, we are going to be Josh Robinson, our pal, will be joining us right around 8:30 or so. To talk WrestleMania. We're going to preview WrestleMania with him. But before that, obviously, as you know, on For Exposure, you guys did a 2-week thing on the Collective and all the other wrestling that goes on this weekend.
As much as we could. And unfortunately, we can't go live this week because of the stuff I talked about at the beginning of the show with the shoot job.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's ridiculous and it's unfair, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not that
so with all the other great wrestling that's going on, our friends at Progress Wrestling are having a big show that is actually tonight. It starts at 11:59 p.m., but me and Pluggo are pretty certain that's 11:59 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah,
so
that's
for
in
us,
Vegas.
we're going to be sleeping. It's going to be at 3 in the morning.
So essentially, when I wake up for work, it'll probably be main event time.
Probably. So we, because we're friends with Progress Wrestling, we were trying to get one of their wrestlers on the show last week or this week to promote it, but unfortunately it didn't work out. So we're going to do a little bit of a preview of this Progress show. We're just going to run through the card. There's going to be a lot of names that you're familiar with on the independents and things of that nature.
Daddy's there.
Huh?
I said Daddy's there.
He is. She is. So here we go. Well, one of these gentlemen. So the main event of the evening is for the Progress Wrestling Men's World Championship. I said that earlier today on Firmly, Scott. I think the Adam Cole's Open Challenge tonight on Collision will be one of the Kingdom Boys. I think they'll lean into the Boston thing, and I think it'll be Mike Bennett or Matt Taven. That's what I think.
But didn't he kind of just dump them to the curb for
exactly?
His old
And
buddies? Yeah,
I think that would make sense if it was one of them. You give them the local rub. There's some history there that commentary can dig into, and I think that's probably the way they go there. Other than that, I don't really know. I would have said Josh Alexander, but you don't want Josh Alexander losing his first 2 matches when he first shows up in your company. I don't think. Last night I think was fine the way it played out. Like I thought it was a perfect debut. But like, if you're going to have him lose back-to-back nights in his debut 2 shows, that's probably not what you want. But yes, this is going to be a fire indie show this weekend, and there were a lot of them. At 11 o'clock tonight, an hour after we get off, we have Bloodsport is tonight.
Yeah.
WWE talent galore. Pete Dunne is there. Dempsey is there. Natalia is there. Karrion Kross is there.
Petrovich is there.
Yeah, Carmen Petrovich is there. The main event is Josh Barnett versus Gabe Kidd, which should be fun. That is a stacked card for Bloodsport. Is Baszler there again too? Right? Shayna Baszler there again?
I don't remember. She might be. I think so.
Yeah.
So I saw something.
Yeah,
it's pretty WWE heavy this time around.
It is very WWE heavy. Like I looked at the card and I was like, there's almost a WWE wrestler in every match. Literally.
Yeah. Which is cool, but it also kind of takes away from like what made Bloodsport, like the whole like inclusion of all the people throughout all the companies and just like this. And yeah, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm very intrigued on how they score this thing, considering it's a lot of WWE talent. Are they going to run the board, or are they going to take some losses? We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, Fernando, I like this one. That's a good choice. I do like Speedball being the guy that challenges him. But again, I feel like Speedball shouldn't lose. And then we got the Hive. Josh Barnett, Josh Alexander. What about Josh Robinson? He's coming on right around the 8:30 marker.
Yeah.
We're going to dive into Progress right here. A little birdie told me the Boss Man is popping on at some point.
Yeah, I thought we were. We might be in trouble.
I don't know.
This might be the last episodes of Between Two Beards ever. You never know.
I know. All right, but let's run through this card. So the main event. Actually, you know what? Let's start at the bottom.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Work our way to the top, shall we? So we have a WXW Unified World Wrestling Championship match. It is a 3-way. And it is Tate Mayfairs versus Marcus Mathers, who is a WWE ID contracted superstar of GCW, or formerly of GCW. I don't know if he's still there or not. I don't know. I think he's still there, right? Technically, he still wrestles for GCW?
He's still an independent wrestler. He doesn't have, just because you signed to the ID program doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, you still get to do your shit, right?
Basically what the ID program has done, as we've talked about it with a few people is you're just kind of like they're like a guide, right? Like here's what you should be doing, and here's what. Now, are they going to get more involved? Probably down the line here, as you can see with the tournaments and stuff. But like they still like go take your bookings. You know, here we're a support system because we see something in you. If you hit all your marks, then blah blah blah. So yeah, he's still doing his thing because he's wrestling. Marcus is wrestling like 4 or 5 times in the next like 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
He's a crazy person. He's fantastic though. So,
and then they are going against the champion, who is one called Manders. And if you've never seen one called Manders, man, that guy, I like his shtick, man. I like his shtick.
That guy's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like his shtick. This was originally supposed to be Manders just versus Mathers 1-on-1. But the Mayfairs got added in because Mathers actually took to social media and challenged Manders, and then Mayfairs kind of got in everyone's business, and he had a victory. He had a victory over Manders previously, so he inserted himself. Collision looks like it is a hot start tonight. We have that on the side here. Any things that are happening, we'll kind of be watching along and keeping everyone updated as we kind of go through things like that. We also have an Atlas Championship match. Mike D will be challenging Axel. Hopefully I say this right. Tischer, who used to be Alexander Wolf in WWE.
Some people say
is it Teicher?
Some people say Teicher, so I want to lean Teicher, but Tischer, I wouldn't. I knew who you were talking about the second you mentioned him. So so that should be a hard hitting. He's a badass dude on the indies. Like I would love to have seen that in WWE. To be honest with you, what he does now.
Yep. We also have a Progress Wrestling exclusive showcase match. I miss Second Gear Crew. They were great, Scott. I was a big fan of them. We have Cara Noir, who I don't know. I have never seen this individual wrestle, but the get up here with the makeup and everything, I'm in.
So you remember when we interviewed Effie at Royal Rumble weekend?
Yes, I do.
And he mentioned that people are not a fan of swapping.
That's who he fought in this match. Okay, well then I know who. Then I do know who this. Who this person is.
When he was like, people aren't a fan of swapping eggs and scrambling eggs in each other's mouths and stuff. That was that was.
And I do know who this is.
Yes.
He is going up against Minoru Suzuki. So that's always a treat. Murder Grandpa getting involved here.
Murder Grandpa's having a weekend.
We love Minoru Suzuki. I'm a big fan of Minoru Suzuki. I swear, boss man, I didn't spoil the surprise guest. But if you want to hop on at 5, that'll work for us. And then we got Josh Robinson coming on at 8:30 to talk some wrestling.
If boss wants to hop on at 5, I'm not going to be here.
At 5?
You said at 5.
No, he said in 5.
But you said at 5.
Oh, shut up, Pluggo.
It's like I'm going to bed.
Why don't you shut up? All right. We then have a tag team match. We have, again, I don't want to butcher these names. We have Lycos Jim. And they are going against Boisterous Behavior.
Which is man called Therese and looks like it's Leon Slater, right?
Yes. Boisterous Behavior, very fun. Very fun. I like them a lot. I like them. They have Leon Slater's in that team. So we know Leon Slater. Leon Slater's, So, and then, man like Derice, right? That's the other gentleman.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He is awesome as well. So we have that going on. We have a scramble match. Do you want to hear the names in this scramble match, brother? We have a Progress Wrestling Proteus World Championship scramble match. It is Charles Crowley. Adam Priest. It is the GCW heavyweight champion Effie. It is Paul Walter Hauser. And the last competitor is the champion Simon Miller, who I am a big fan of as well. So that is a loaded scramble match. Go ahead.
Should we do the ups and downs of his match?
Yeah.
I'm going to give that a big down.
Yeah.
He lost to Effie.
Yeah. I would love to talk to that guy, Simon Miller. I would love to talk to him. I would love to talk to that guy. But yeah, so we have him, Paul Walter Hauser, who we saw in Indy. We saw him kind of finish up a match in Indy at one of the independent shows.
Yeah,
Effie, obviously GCW heavyweight champion. That's a loaded scramble match there. Then we have a terrific women's three-way for the Progress Wrestling Women's World Championship. It is Riho, not that Rio, RHIO.
Another one that's really, really good.
Yep. Versus Vert Vixen, who is a friend of LPW, has wrestled at LPW. Vert Vixen, a very terrific pro wrestler. And they are taking on the champion, Nina Samuels.
In a good way, Vert Vixen almost killed Nicole Matthews this week. They had a hell of a match.
Yep. Yep. And this was another match that was originally supposed to be a one-on-one and has turned into, as they call it, a chaotic triple threat.
Boom.
So this should be another good one. And then in the main event of the evening,
your guy.
Well, this is a gentleman that I got to see live wrestle last night.
Spoiler.
It is the champion, Luke Jacobs, defending the Progress Wrestling Men's World Championship against Michael Oku. Michael Oku, I know more about him than I do Luke Jacobs, so forgive me, but Michael Oku is excellent. He was in the kind of the pre-Dynamite main event last night. He fought Nick Wayne in the last Ring of Honor match before they flipped it over to start Dynamite last night. So that was a very good match. So I got to see Michael Oku. That was the first time I had seen him in person wrestle, and he lived up to the building. It was in defeat. Nick Wayne did get the victory, but you know, it is what it is.
Nick Wayne's got to show something to his daddy.
He does. But a terrific card on tap tonight, or in the wee hours of the morning tomorrow for us East Coasters.
Well, yeah, if you're in Vegas,
if you're in Vegas and you want something to do late night, the bell is at 11:59 p.m. So
if you're not in Vegas, it's on Triller TV.
It is on Triller TV otherwise. So that is Progress. Go check them out. A great card tonight, just a part of many great cards that are in Las Vegas this weekend. And before we bring Josh Robinson on in a few minutes to talk about the WrestleMania card this weekend, we do have a special guest.
Yeah, Mrs. Pluggo's in the chat. Hi,
that is true.
Hi.
Yep.
Your birthday's on Saturday. WrestleMania what? What are you talking about? It's Mrs. Pluggo's birthday. That's all that matters. We've been celebrating it for a month.
There you go. But we've been trying, the boss man's been trying to come on here for a few weeks. To do something pretty cool.
What did you do?
I don't know. You're the one that said you thought we were in trouble.
Well, I figured it's because
I know that I wasn't going to be in trouble. I know that I follow the rules.
Wow.
So I'm the one of the two that actually follows. Now you're going to do that and it's going to look weird.
Well, you're supposed to put it on the Universal Phil.
Now
it is on the Universal.
Now I have to go back and download this episode to take out that weird glitch that you just caused.
Look at that. Boom.
Only you. A guy who doesn't follow the rules, because I know JPJ follows the rules even before I hopped in the little waiting room here.
Exactly. But like I was saying, we've been trying to get you on, or you've been trying to come on for the last couple of weeks because you got a care package delivered to you.
Damn right, Ryan. What a mustache, by the way. Don't gloss over.
No, don't gloss it over, because right now, so this is my compromise mustache right now. So November, I will always grow one because the November campaign, raising money for men's mental health and testicular cancer, is always a cause like near and dear to my heart. So I'll always grow one then. But right now, this is my compromise on a playoff beard, because your Sherwood Park Crusaders, our Sherwood Park Crusaders, love pro wrestling fans, have advanced to the second round of the BCHL playoffs. We are taking on the Brooks Bandits in round 2. So everyone is well aware that I can't grow any good facial hair, especially this. But I grow so patchy over the beard that this is my compromise for the playoff beard, is I will bring back the mustache until.
So a playoff mustache is what
exactly.
We're
doing. This is my nice little, because I'm not normally a handsome man. I am definitely an unhandsome man with this thing on, though. This ain't good looking. It ain't
just don't go near any playgrounds or parks or anything like that.
I was just going to steer clear. My little subtitle here. Outside of the fact that I had 4 delicious tacos today at El Cortez, shout out to them.
Yeah.
My other one was going to be that it's difficult to get a table for one at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
right
I was
now.
going to say, just kind of stick to the streets and
As
the
a
sidewalks, and you'll be all right.
as a father who has kids who's been to Chuck E. Cheese, you're not even allowed to go in there as an adult without a kid.
No, and sometimes
No,
you
of course
just want to
not.
dominate some video games. Like
It's
I'm not good at basketball against people my age, but you bring me a 9-year-old,
Smash 'em.
I like my odds.
Yeah, smash.
That's why you go
But-
Dave and Buster's instead.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the adult.
There's
Well,
no
like
Dave
the-
and Buster's, at least.
No,
not
you
in
got you got
Edmonton.
the Rec Room. The Rec Room is a very similar
You have the
thing
Rec Room.
to Dave and
Yeah.
Buster's. The time that I was
Hey,
able to.
thank you, Drew. Appreciate
right.
it, you handsome man.
So
But-
yeah, like we've been
like-
saying, yeah, we've been trying to arrange this for a few weeks, but our times have just kind of missed each other. But yes, you got a care package, we'll call it.
I
From
received a Canada Post.
there you go.
Here's
And that
what
is
I
from
received.
two of our lovely friends here at Love Wrestling. One, Blair, who Pluggo knows very well, obviously for exposure, and our very own Zach.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say or show, I should say, because they do have our addresses. But huge shout out to Blair, number one, for addressing this package to Spencer, Doctor of Love. I'm pretty impressed with that.
I'm disappointed he didn't actually use your government name that he uses in the Slack chat. I don't know if we could say that on air.
It's past the 10 minutes, but you know.
It's past the 10 minutes, but like let's maybe wait because we're coming up on WrestleMania and there might
Yeah,
be some opinions if firmly over the last couple of days has been anything to go by.
You know, it's true.
Oh, I do. I tune in. You know,
Yeah.
I'm an early riser.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'm
I
not
got you.
as often.
I got you.
Some opinions. What happened? What did I miss today?
No, it's all right. We'll get there. We're
Just
going to talk
every
with
so
Josh
often,
about Mania, and
every
we're
so
going to get into it.
often, there are some curse words here on Love Wrestling between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Mountain Time.
Thank you.
Occasionally.
Well,
After
while
10
he
minutes.
opens the boxes, shout out to Zach. Welcome in. Chris Parrish is in the house.
Huge
Fernando.
shout out to Zach. Huge shout out to Parrish. Huge shout out to Fernando, Drew, every one of you. But anyways, so
Smash
this
that like
package,
button.
I don't know if you guys know the backstory, and there's not really a backstory I can speak to. All I know is that I heard about this package like
I know what it is. Because
I have no idea. I have
I
no
know
idea.
what it is.
I have no idea.
It's
so I was told weeks in advance that this was coming to me.
yep.
And we're gonna play a fun little game of Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman.
What's in the box? Do we need to give him the? Do we need
Damn
to
it,
give
we
you?
should have got a drop. We should.
Do we need to give you the full screen?
You know what? No, because
What's in the box?
opening the package itself isn't going to be all that entertaining. I'm not.
No,
that
no. I
cool.
opened a
We've known that
package
for years.
this morning. I opened a package this morning of delicious beers that I put on my reels. Thanks for saying I'm not entertaining.
No, I
Wow.
know the context of that, but that's still somewhat odd to hear every so often coming from you, Pluggo.
It's non-alcoholic beer.
That's what I say is like I know the context of it. Don't get me wrong. But
It's not alcohol. It's a good cause. It's for a good cause. Go right now and buy some so that you can help support your favorite content creator.
all right, the package is open, but I am not going to.
What's in the
Here's
box?
what we're gonna do. I've got the top of it open. I
Yep.
haven't looked yet. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a live reveal here.
Here we go. Hopefully, this is not a dud.
I hope it doesn't have like a
You wanna- yeah.
normal package.
We're doing drum rolls.
Ruin the
Shut up!
monetization.
Wait, what the hell is that? Am I supposed to know what that is? What is that? It's a movie? Is that a movie?
I have received, friends. I hope all of you are sitting down, and if you're in
With
a
no holds
chair,
barred?
you're only gonna need the edge of it.
Okay.
I have received. Oh my God, the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. I have received a DVD copy
Wow.
of the movie Abraxas, Guardians of the Universe, starring Jesse
the Body
Ventura
Wow. And Jim Belushi.
and Jim Belushi.
That is so disrespectful to Jim Belushi. Look at the size change in font there between
else have we got
Jesse
on here?
Ventura and Jim Belushi.
Michael Copeman.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm talking specifically about Jim Belushi. That is disrespectful.
Can you imagine if one day I just opened a stream and this was the only face you saw?
Can you imagine
I
one
will
day
just
you do a
be-
watch-along stream to that movie, as you definitely should?
Oh, brother.
As you definitely
Does the
should.
Tin Man have a sheet metal? You know what? Like, of course, there's going to be.
As you
Blair's-
definitely should.
Blair's not here to tell the story, but he said that you guys were talking about that on a random brunch
We
not
were talking
too long.
about it extensively on a random brunch.
And he said he happened to be somewhere and he saw it for a couple bucks and he was like, I gotta get it and send it over to Spencer.
Guys, I never cry, but I'm gonna go watch Abraxas, guys.
Right. Well, Spencer, real quick before you leave, because I know we're about to bring Josh on to talk about Mania. What is the match you're looking forward to the most this weekend?
I think the match overall I'm most looking forward to is Roman, Seth, and Punk. I think like the in-ring match that I'm most looking forward to is Drew and Damian Priest.
They're gonna
go out and they're going to beat the ever-loving hell out of each other. So
yeah.
I think that's going to be the match for me that is like the most entertaining, like in-ring match.
Yeah.
I think the Punk, Roman, and Seth match is going to be the one that I leave coming out of it saying, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? There's gonna be something coming around storyline wise. I don't know what it is, which for me is my favorite thing in wrestling. You know, I've got some thoughts, but any one of the people in this match could win it, and that's my favorite kind of match to get into. So
I agree. Yeah. I think Damian and Drew have something to prove because I don't think they're both thrilled with their placement in WrestleMania, and I think that I would be shocked if they haven't had a conversation going like, let's go out there and let's make sure that everybody needs to follow us kind of thing. Like I can see them really killing it.
So to be honest, there's not really like when it comes to the in-ring, and we've talked about this a ton, and I'm going to take off. I'm already over on my time, brother. But there's not really any match that I'm not excited for. Every match has the potential to go out there and be the match of the night. The same sort of way that I've said for any AEW pay-per-views. The build for this, in my opinion, hasn't been excellent. I think that WrestleMania has the potential to deliver. And I think storyline wise, the main event of night one, but like match quality or in-ring wise or whatever they're saying on the internet wrestling community at this point, I think Drew and Damian has the potential to be really, really it's going to be great.
Like a dark horse.
Not even a sleeper. I think everybody knows they're going to deliver and they're still going to exceed those expectations, you know? So anyways, I'll be in the chat. Thank you guys for having me. Actually,
enjoy that.
I will be in the chat in about 87 minutes.
All right. So if we're still live,
that is the runtime of Abraxas.
Okay. That would be maybe right at the end. But all right. You enjoy your movie. Thanks for popping on and showing us that. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you plenty this weekend.
Handsome individual and preemptive, like pass on to Josh. Like, congrats on the Hive. Very excited. And chat soon with y'all. Love y'all.
All right. See you later. Love you too, buddy. We'll see you soon.
The boss man didn't fire us. Got a really cool gift. That's awesome.
That was cool. Jesse Ventura. Unbelievable.
I've never even heard of that. I didn't even know that
Jesse Ventura had a run of like action movies where he was like the lead guy for some reason. But okay.
Because
without further ado.
Big star. Yeah, without further ado.
He's been chilling in the back for a few minutes. We want to bring him on. Spencer did mention a thing called The Hive, which we will let Josh talk about aplenty this evening as we are diving into WrestleMania. But our pal, your pal, everyone's favorite, Josh Robinson is here. What do you mean? What's that face? I say that, and that's
everyone's favorite.
When you walk on
everyone's favorite.
Yeah,
that's like a bold statement. I'm sure I'm not liked by everybody.
I'm a bold individual, Josh.
Yeah, well, listen, I guess got to be bold. I will say before we do anything, my favorite Jim Belushi movie is K-9.
Oh, with the dog. Yeah, oh yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Watched that as a kid.
Did you watch when he on the TV show he took over for John Ritter, right? On the didn't he?
No, he was on
was that David Spade that did that? David Spade took over for I don't know. Yeah, according to Jim. He did according to Jim, right?
I believe that ran from like 2001 to like 2008 or something. I know it's kind of long. Yeah. I remember watching it as a kid. It's a pretty standard sitcom. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But yeah, just anyway. the disrespect of the level of the change of font between those two. That is just wow. But anyway, regardless, Josh, how are we doing?
You act like Jim Belushi's some massive star.
He's a bigger star in movies than friggin' Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You just said Jesse had a huge run of movies.
Well, he did, but yeah, when Jesse's the main guy and the second guy is Michael Copeman.
John Belushi was a bigger star than Jim.
Yes, I agree. But Jim Belushi,
the Boston Anger, he did it. Hi, Josh.
Get out of
He
here.
said, "Yeah, the boss, get out of here."
Get out of here. Anyway, Josh, how are you, my friend?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I feel like I'm on the verge of getting sick.
Oh, so no, not on WrestleMania weekend.
Awesome WrestleMania weekend, and I can feel it in me.
Well, you are,
but you know, whatever.
I was gonna say you are a new uncle, so when you're around children, you get sick just instantly. Sometimes.
Well,
so
it is what it is. I'm not gonna let a little bit of sickness get me down. I really don't know if I am. You know, when you're like, it
could go either way. It's like the day
I'm an overthinker.
Yeah.
And you're like, am I tired or am I getting sick?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I almost think the brain is so powerful that you can trick yourself into getting sick by thinking that way too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you just go, am I getting sick? I think I'm getting sick. And even if you weren't getting sick, your brain's like, I'm getting sick. So then you wake up tomorrow and you're sick. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it is what it is. Whatever. You can't really do much about it.
Yeah. All right, boys. We have WrestleMania weekend upon us, 48 hours away. Actually, a little less than that at 8:30 before night one's main show kicks off. We have 13 matches scheduled, 7 for night one and 6 for night two.
Maybe you're not wrong. Jim Belushi's not worth his $15 million.
I'm telling you. What do you think? I'm kidding?
Jesse's is 7.
Yes. Well, he was a governor. You don't get paid.
Yeah,
you don't get paid. That's true. But anyway, so 7 on night 1, 6 on night 2. I feel like
we'll probably end up having 7 on night 2 though with Randy.
Yeah, though I think the Randy thing I could see happening to even out that. And I'm sure we'll get into
who's taking on Randy.
You want to start there?
Sure.
What our guesses are with.
He doesn't really have a match.
Because Randy is technically, who obviously was supposed to fight Kevin Owens. Obviously, the unfortunate thing with KO and the next surgery he's needed, he's going to be out for a long time. But the rumor is that Randy is still going to wrestle on this show. An open challenge, maybe they're saying now. We have our pal Bryn popping in the chat saying hello.
Hello.
Glad to see Bryn in the chat there. Thanks for popping in. We're just about to start. So yeah, all right, let's start there. Since Pluggo was like, let's just start there.
Let's just do it. Yeah, let's go. It's WrestleMania season, baby.
Josh, I'll let you go first.
Reckless speculation.
What are you? Yeah, reckless speculation. What do you think, or who do you think answers Randy's open chat? Like, who do you think Randy ends up fighting, if he ends up fighting at all?
I honestly don't have a guess. So that's a great place to start. I don't know. I know Randy will have I'm sure Randy will be participating in WrestleMania, but I have no guess. So for literally no guess, I'm just going to say, oh man, let's just think of a person.
Well, people have been throwing out Nick Aldis. That's been a name that's been thrown out there because of that. Randy
Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa. They've been teasing. You have a couple gentlemen who have been re-signed to the company who could debut or re-debut, I guess, in Rusev, a return, or Malachi Black. I think I would love it to be Rusev. I would love it to be Rusev.
For a lack of a better guess, I'll just say Rusev. I don't honestly know. I don't know because let me take off my glasses.
Bryn is saying Nick Aldis. So, they're agreeing with Nick Aldis. I feel like he's the leader in the clubhouse of what people are speculating that it'll be Aldis, which I would personally love as well. That'd be fun.
I think because if Randy didn't say Aldis last week, I would lean towards more Aldis. But they said Aldis last week. Like Randy was like, maybe it'll be you. So that means it won't be, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. Pluggo, you're the one that wanted us to start here.
Yeah,
what do you think? What are you thinking?
Well, I was hoping you guys could give me some ideas here, but Josh went, I don't know. Neither do I. I absolutely think it'd be a cool thing if it was Nick Aldis to give him like a WrestleMania moment, and there's that kind of tension between the two of them. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to play it safe and give him like Solo Sikoa or something.
Yeah.
And I don't love that but I also know that they need to give Randy, because I think he's going to have a big thing to do at Backlash because he's on the poster. So they need to give him like a big win at Mania.
We're gonna go through this card by the night. We're gonna bring Randy Orton back up at some point later.
You're not wrong, Ryan. Why not?
We got Drew in the chat saying that he thinks it's gonna be Solo. And he says, I don't think Randy should lose. And if Rusev or Malachi or Aleister Black are the opponent, I wouldn't want either of them to lose in their return either. I agree with that, but I feel like those guys, especially Rusev for me, for some reason, I feel like Rusev could come back and have a good match and lose, and it doesn't really hurt him that much just because of the history with it. I don't know. But
well,
either
Randy
way,
could lose and you make the return of Rusev match.
You could do that. Ella J, we hopped on with her and Kimmy, not Kimmy, for a preview show, and she thinks that it's going to turn into one of those things where like he ends up having a segment with like A-Town Down Under or something like that, where he just RKOs them both, punts them, the crowd goes home happy, kind of like one of those like, hey, you know, obviously this didn't go the way we wanted, so let's just kind of do something that's going to pop the crowd and get the crowd happy. Everyone sees RKOs, everyone sees a punt, and everyone's feeling good about a bad situation.
Kimmy is the worst person retired from podcasting person.
I didn't even think you need to add that second part, to be honest with you. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. I love Kimmy. Well, no, we love Kimmy. Come on.
She was on brunches past week. I think she was in the weed. She's with Ella. And girl, they can't stay retired. Dustin's saying Sammy. Now, Sammy would be an interesting one.
Yes, Sammy. I've heard that name thrown out there a little bit. Again, the last time we saw Sammy and KO, though, KO was literally trying to end his life. So I understand the history with Sammy and KO, but I don't really understand. You'd have to explain that to me of why Sammy would be the one that would step up and be like, you know what? Even though he tried to murder me last time he was here, I got to do it for him. I don't think that makes sense.
He was outside my house while I was trying to make dinner,
videotaping me and my family creepily. But yes, I got to step up for him and fill in. You got to explain that more to me. I get it though. But yes, we're going to talk about Randy Orton again before we're done with this preview. So, all right, night one, we are, because I have a yes.
Did you have a theory? Oh boy,
not a theory, but I have a question that I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, when we get to another match later on during this. All right, we have 7 matches on the card for night one, and we are going to start with one of the 2 matches that is not for a title, and that is obviously Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Should have been Chad Gable versus Grande Americano, but I digress.
The match that we have time to add to WrestleMania, but we can't put either of our women's mid-card titles on WrestleMania. Sorry for yelling. Not sorry for yelling. Okay. I also think that this match should have been a mask versus mask match, and I don't know why it isn't. But regardless of that,
it could still happen tomorrow night.
It could, I guess.
They're not technically on SmackDown, but you know,
I do.
They could.
That matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. It doesn't matter. Plus, you could also do something even the day of the show, night of the show, pre-show. They could change it up if there's still an opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big spot of this match or post-match will be El Grande Americano getting unmasked. I think that's going to happen. Like that's going to be the big thing that happens. But I think the fact that it's not a mask versus mask match. I think El Grande Americano is going to win. I really do. If it was mask versus mask, I'd be like, Ray's 1,000% winning. Like, no debate that Ray is winning. But the fact that it's not, I think you can still unmask El Grande Americano without Ray winning and still get that moment of unmasking him. And I think that's what they're going to do.
Listen,
and I think El Grande Americano is going to win.
Rey Mysterio is the heel in this whole situation.
Is he, though?
He doesn't give Dom. It doesn't give Dom the car he asked for. He's trying to rip a fellow luchador's mask off, which is the most disrespectful thing you could do. And Ray's out, and then he's in there and he walks into Aldis's office and just demands a match.
El Grande ripped off Dragon Lee's mask first.
Accidentally. It was an accident mid-move.
Typical American defending another American over here. I'm going to
be Ray's over there blatantly trying to rip the thing off. Grande just made
American BS over here that he's spewing from wherever the fuck he's from in America. It doesn't really matter because they're Americans. No. Wow. But I will say this, I genuinely think this match, whilst I think it honestly will be very, very good because it's Ray and it's not Chad Gable. I do think this match will be very good, but why are we adding this and not Nia Jax or not, women's mid-card championships that need about 8 minutes on a show anyway, and you're really running this show for like 16 hours over the 2 weekends, so whatever. But I don't. I'm glad we're doing this
I'm
first so we
not.
can get it out of there to say we can get this out of the way. I think
Yeah.
Ray will probably win more so than anything, but I wouldn't surprise me otherwise. The end of the match or post match is we're revealing the identity of El Grande Americano. So to me, it doesn't really matter if he could win via cheating. He couldn't win. It really doesn't matter.
And I hope they pull some twin magic stuff and they go to rip that mask off and it's not actually Chad Gable.
They'll probably do that, to be fair.
That would
Could
be
they do
wild.
could they do like a
switcheroo,
like a switcheroo, like a Bella, like Gable goes under the ring and somebody else that looks similar comes out and they unmask him and it's just this random schmuck and it's like, what the hell? And they keep it going. They could do that, right?
Generic white man.
Yeah,
because
like Peggy said in the chat, Ophelia says Americano wins. They do SummerSlam as mask versus mask. So is there a way that
we're running this?
I wouldn't want to run this all the way that far. Maybe how about like the pay-per-view next month or something like that? But like
Drew said, Backlash.
Yeah, is that something they could do where they do like a trickaroo type of thing, and it's they take the mask off and it's not Chad Gable, and they're still like, we know that
you
Chad
listen.
Gable.
Let me explain. So I know that you seem like you feel like this is American, just defending American thing. No, this is as much as the WWE has made leaps and bounds from some of the super corny storylines that they like to do. They still have that love for this kind of goofy shit, right? They still love it enough to be like, let's keep it going. It's working. Just like there's always that one, and this is that one. And Chad Gable's the guy that they do this to all the time.
I know. On Collision right now, the Callis family just had a tag match against Ishii and Rocky Romero, and Rocky Romero turned on Ishii, and Trent is back, and they're both with the Callis family, and they're beating the crap out of Ishii. Anyway,
well, we're also at 12,
updates.
We're at
Collision
12
is live
likes.
right now.
We need 8. We need like 13 more to get to 25. So make that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we all think Grande's winning.
I think Ray will win. I'll just be different.
Oh wow, what a shock! The two Americans are picking.
Wow, typical Australian.
You know,
standing up for Rey
everybody
Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio is American, you morons.
I said sticking up for Rey
San Diego.
Mysterio. That's what I said. I didn't say anything other than
San Diego, California, which is in the United States of America.
No, I just said standing up for Rey Mysterio. I didn't say where he's from.
Yeah.
I have a feeling if you polled everybody in Australia, they'd probably pick Rey Mysterio over.
Who knows? This country's a mess as well, so don't stress.
Oh, Spencer, no, Ishii didn't join Callis. Trent and Rocky Romero did, and they turned on Ishii. So Trent is back, and him and Rocky Romero have joined Josh Alexander as the newest members of the Callis family over the last few days.
Get your own
Is
name.
Josh official? Was that official?
He's in the ring with him right now, celebrating.
Okay,
So, yeah,
okay,
I think so.
Okay, because
so.
I saw it happen. I saw it last night, and I was like, I didn't really hear them say like he's officially in. I know that he helped out, but then he kind of left. But,
I am going to show this, Bryn, because I fully agree. I will take if we do find out that Chad Gable is El Grande Americano.
Listen, I just
will
want to say
take
the El
that over
Grande,
Shorty G any day of the week.
The El Grande Americano thing is for what it is. I don't dislike it. I think it's funny. They're doing. It's just not WrestleMania storyline worthy to me. But like, it's funny. It's goofy. Whatever.
Yeah,
I understand
have
some
no
negative associations with it, and I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah,
and listen, put some respect on Shorty G's name.
Shorty G fucking sucked. I can swear on this show at this point.
Yeah,
can't I?
you
You're
can.
well past
we're
it.
in it. My thing is, and I agree with you, Josh. Like, it's pro wrestling. Like, it's not always that serious. And I just think you see something like Grande Americano, and like, I understand what they're leaning into. I get it, but it's been presented in a very comedic way that I just don't think everything is as serious as people try to make it out to be a lot of the times. And so like, I very much am not so I'm kind of along those lines as well. And, I am going to be a typical American and the Americans winning. So that's what's happening. So,
God bless the USA.
God bless. Liberty, freedom. What the hell is it? I don't even know. Anyway,
You look like you were doing some stuff.
no.
Well, look,
Careful, we're gonna get
start.
canceled.
Don't even start. That is not true. Come on. Anyway,
the gay person comes on, you just start doing that. Oh, great.
no, that's not what we're talking about here. That's not what we're talking about. You've known me. You know where I align. Son of a b. All right.
I know.
On the next
We
Dark
won't
Side of the
release the
Ring.
DMs, guys.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Ring, JPJ.
Yeah.
JPJ, you know where he aligns until he didn't.
We
The
have
silhouettes of him just sitting in a podcast room with
Yeah.
a microphone.
Yeah. There's only one. Well, there's technically two other matches on night one that aren't for the title, but one of them is the main event. So we're not going to talk about that one now. The other one is one of the matches that I am looking forward to the most on night one, and that is Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Let me go first. Oh my fucking god!
I will
Can
let
I
you
have
go
the
first.
floor?
I loved what they did on SmackDown with like kind of the vignette with both of them right after each other talking with Naomi, like great heel promo, and then going right into the Jade stuff. I'm excited for this match. I think this match is going to be a standout match of the weekend. I'm very excited, but go first, Josh, to talk about it. What do you want to say about Naomi and Jade?
This is the perfect example of like letting a story breathe and allowing people on. This is using social media to your advantage. These two have gone hard on social media, like making people care about this match. Also, it is nice that for the first time in WrestleMania history, that isn't like a gimmick pillow fight, that there's a non-title like feud happening for women at WrestleMania. And it's cool there's two black women. I think I said that on our sim the other day, JPJ, but like it's cool. I'm not, call me whatever, I don't care. It's cool. They're two women that are very different points of their careers. And I think that this is one of those matches that it doesn't really matter who wins and who loses, because it's a big opportunity, for Naomi to shut up a lot of people to say that she can't carry someone, quote unquote, in a match. Not that I think anyone needs to be carried, but there's different levels of experience here. It also shows a different side of Naomi that people are like, she can't be a heel, even though she was a heel for quite a long time in WWE. But people seem to forget things because wrestling fans have the memory of a goldfish. Even though they like to claim they like to have throwbacks to a chair shot every 5 fucking weeks. But I think this match is, it's weird. This is one of those matches that I'm like, I think why this match is going to be good. I think it's going to be very physical. Just let them kind of beat each other up. I think it's bigger than this. This match it's got a lot more to stand for than just a wrestling match. This story has been building since Naomi pushed Jade into a car in November. Attempted murder. We all love a bit of attempted murder in professional wrestling. Obviously, that moment at Elimination Chamber, I think, for big reasons, got overshadowed by the thing that happened at the end of that show. Yeah. But that was a great way to. Me and JPJ watched that together, and we were like, "Yeah."
That
tried
was
to
awesome.
kill her. She
it
tried
was
to
an
kill her.
incredible way to start that show.
And Naomi's really shined out. That first promo that Naomi had post Elimination Chamber with Bianca Belair. I mean, they were both great, but like they just showed up. And then Jade hasn't lost her level of quote unquote overness in this time. It's just a really good story of good versus bad. It's really simple. This girl did a bad thing to this girl, so cheer this girl. That's basically where we're at. I think it has a really good opportunity. I think this match is going to be a very big dependent on this match of where it's placed on the card. I think this match benefits from being on earlier in the show than as opposed to later in the show. And I think that it's going to be good. I think that I think a lot of us lean towards Jade winning, but I think actually a Jade win does more for Naomi than it does for Jade, because I think that Naomi is going to be a women's champion before the end of this year. I think she's been doing incredible work. And that often happens in WWE when someone loses a feud, quote unquote, loses a feud, they move on to bigger and better things sometimes. And I think Jade is in this spot anyway, where she's just kind of like, she's pretty set up. You got to put Jade wherever she needs to be. And she's just building and building and building. And, you know, I think by this time next year, I think we'll be leaning into Jade Cargill probably challenging for a world title. But I think this is very pivotal, you know the word I'm looking for, to these women. But I think it's going to, I'm really into it.
Yeah, well, pivotal. pivotal.
I can't. Words are hard. Yeah.
And
I got this for
I'm-
Christmas because I'm not good at words.
Like
and it's
words
still
are
not
hard,
open,
and
it's
I'm
still not
and
open.
I'm
It's
hard
still
for
not
this
open. You got it
match.
for
You know what I'm
Christmas.
saying?
It's still in its
Oh, yeah.
packaging.
But I think it's gonna be fun.
And there's a few, and I was going to ask this question anyway, but Dustin asked it in the chat, and then Bryn said they were thinking the same thing. And I'll lean this over to you, Pluggo, for your opinion of it. This is on night 1. The triple threat involving Bianca is on night 2. Bianca has kind of been away from these two while they've been building this, but do we think that we see Bianca potentially in an appearance in night 1 or potentially get involved with this on night 1? You don't, neither of you think.
I think the opposite. I think if Naomi, because I still think that Bianca didn't directly attack Jade, but I still think there's something.
I think she's still
there.
behind
Puppet
it.
Master,
I
baby.
still
See the
behind
Puppet
it.
Master.
Right. So I think, like, I could see a scenario with whatever happens at night 1, whether it's Naomi or Jade winning. Naomi is going to get involved on night 2 and maybe help Bianca win, and then Bianca's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to take this win. I didn't want your help, and then that's how you get Naomi into the world title picture. Maybe I think it's more whoever wins is going to get involved in night 2, opposed to Bianca involving herself in this match, because she's kind of stayed away from it this entire time ever since she had her initial interaction with Naomi. But she's healing it up a little bit over there, Bianca Belair. So there's some.
We'll get there, and
we gotta tie her. We gotta, why didn't Jade text her back?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta know. Austin Shepard's in the chat. He's probably
he's saying that no, she has to be out of this story so Jade can look stronger. That's what Austin is saying. So I assume that means that Shep thinks that Jade is also winning this match on Saturday. Pluggo, is that where your mind's at? Because I'll tell you right now, I'm picking Naomi, and I'm probably going to be wrong, but I agree with Josh when he says that Naomi will be a world champion this calendar year. I believe that. And I think her winning her first ever singles like this type of match at Mania, whether it's by hook or by crook, she cheats, whatever, I don't know. But logic tells me Jade will win, but I just for some reason think Naomi's going to win it. And I know I'll probably be wrong, but
if this match was anywhere else but WrestleMania, I would pick Naomi 10 out of 10 times. I think they love the idea of Jade Cargill winning at WrestleMania on the biggest stage, babyface, showing how strong she is. I think I don't know. This one I'm tough on because I like both these women a lot. I think either way you go with it, you win. I think either way you split this thing, you're good to go. And I think you've got Jade's back. She's looking amazing. She gets a big win over her nemesis Naomi. Naomi with this new character. If she wins, she's off to the races. And if my theory is correct, if Bianca wins night 2, then she's going to go immediately after Bianca. Be like, I told you I was. You know what I'm saying? So I think you win either way. But I'm going to go with Jade. But I'm not like super stoked on it.
Yeah, that works for me.
On my pick, not the match. The pick sucks. The match rules.
Yeah. Let's slide on over to the singles match for the WWE United States Championship. It is LA Knight, the champion, defending against Jacob Fatu. Now, I look at this on paper and I go no brainer, Jacob Fatu. However, a part of me thinks that Solo Sikoa is going to get into some bullshit and he's going to cost Jacob Fatu this match. A part of me thinks that is a thing that could happen. And I don't want it to happen, but I think it's a thing that can happen. So I'm a little torn. Now, Pluggo, I'll let you lead this one. Are we seeing Jacob Fatu walk out of here? Are they starting to strap the real rocket to him by giving him no pun intended, a solo title? At WrestleMania here by beating LA Knight?
I think that they are. I don't understand how we got here in the sense of like you had it on Shinsuke, now it's on and then all that stuff, but LA Knight just kind of got it back. But you can't really deny the work Jacob Fatu has been doing lately. You just can't deny how great he's been and how he's over. And this would be a cool vehicle to like. And if you wanted to stick it to Solo, be like, I got gold, and you don't ever win gold, buddy. So I'm going with Jacob Fatu. This is another one that I don't necessarily love. That's kind of the theme you're going to hear out of me. I like how this card's kind of you can go a lot of different ways with a lot of different outcomes, and either way, I'm happy with it. But yeah, I'm going to go with Jacob Fatu, and I think Solo gets involved to help Jacob.
Okay, so you think he helps Jacob.
Maybe incidentally, right? Like he tries to get involved, screws it, and he's like, "Oh, my plan is foiled," and then he goes after the United States title, and then we move LA Knight into something else.
All right. Claudio was the gentleman that answered the Adam Cole Open Challenge, by the way, for the TNT Championship.
Claudio Castagnoli.
Claudio Castagnoli. That's the guy. He lost the title last night. He's trying to get another one back.
You're gonna lose a title opportunity tonight. That's a good.
That's an open challenge, I guess. If you, that's a little different scenario. But Josh, do you agree with Pluggo, or are you thinking Jacob Fatu is the guy?
Jacob will win this match, and then Solo will turn on him on SmackDown, because that'll be the moment on SmackDown after Mania, because they like to do stuff like that on the shows after Mania. I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but guess what? I could give two shits about the entire placement of this match. I don't care. This will be my I'm grabbing a snack, let me do a poo kind of WrestleMania match for me. All I care about is the finish, and Jacob will win. I think it's been pretty well documented that I've never been a big LA Knight guy, just not for me personally. I think he's fine, just not for my.
What snack are you grabbing?
Well, it's the morning for me, so it needs to be appropriate. So, obviously like a giant cake. No, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know. It'll be literally, this probably will go on around the 10 a.m. mark for me, maybe even like 11 nearly. So it's nearly lunchtime almost. So, that'll be what I'm doing, is just finding something to eat, going to the bathroom while this is on.
Hell yeah. Man, I feel like I said, when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Like, Jacob Fatu wins, new champ. Like, he's been presented that way. I don't trust Solo. But I am going to stick with my guns, and I am going to pick Jacob Fatu to win, because I do think, and Dustin agreed with you.
Typical American, sticking to your guns.
I'm
going to stick with my guns, not my gut, my guns.
I live in Massachusetts. We don't think that way. But,
well,
hey, listen, blue. We're blue. I could see Solo screwing him over on SmackDown after, and then you build to a Jacob Fatu versus Solo match for the title, for the U.S. title. And that's really, because it feels like that's going to be finally the end of the bloodline, because the bloodline is so backburner. Like, they don't even reference it. Like, it's so back burner now that I feel like they're just going to really end it with Jacob Fatu versus Solo. Like, that's literally going to be the end of, like, whatever is left of this bloodline thing, unless eventually we see the main guys kind of reform, which I wouldn't be shocked if they did at some point. But yeah, as we continue to move on, you said that you had your snack match of the night. This next one might be mine, not because I think the match is going to be bad, just the build has been lackluster. It's for the World Tag Team Championship match. It is the War Raiders defending against the New Day.
The new day.
The new day. Thank God for the New Day, which I liked. I hope that's their new thing. I hope that's his new
Why
thing.
is this match on over the SmackDown Tag Team division when I was building for fucking months?
You were building the SmackDown Tag division to have a multi-team ladder match for
it was right
4 months. And
they said, here you go.
Yeah, it was literally, and they've done a great job on the SmackDown. You had those teams, and we're having the Street Profits defend the titles on tomorrow night on SmackDown. But we have this match, which has no build whatsoever, getting thrown onto WrestleMania. Now,
because you're missing the point. The Friday before WrestleMania is just as big as the WrestleMania itself. I know. That's what they want us to believe.
Okay.
And I will never subscribe to that.
Yeah, because you're not an idiot.
What did Triple H say to us this week?
He said, just be a fan.
Fuck off being a critic, be a fan. Hey, here's an idea, big nose fuck. How about you shut the fuck up? How about that?
Don't get us in trouble here, Josh. I know you're not part of Love Wrestling anymore. You're not blowing any relationships for us, so don't be saying things.
I didn't say that. I didn't say it.
Doing stuff like that. Although I did not appreciate his comments about that. I view it as I'm a fan of the thing, and I'm being critical because I want it to be better, because I'm a fan. Do you know how much, you guys are my friends, how much do I criticize the sports teams?
Don't put words in our mouths. How dare
Yeah, wow.
Well, at least I thought you guys were my friends. I thought you
Oh,
guys
you thought wrong. No, I'm
But
just
like,
kidding.
how often am I critical about my sports teams that I live and die for? Like, I'm critical to them because I want them to be good, and I'm critical because I think they should be better. Like, there is a certain section of people.
Yes, right there.
There you go. Thank you. That's what he meant. There is a certain section of people that are the people that Triple H is talking about, where they just go on there to talk shit. Yeah. There are those people exist. We talk shit about those people.
They're from a state above you.
Yeah, but we talk about those. We talk about those people all the time, and we shit on those people. But WWE has this way of going about it and making the whole internet wrestling and
it's because they do this thing, right, where they want us to care about the new women's mid-card titles, and then we all get invested and we all care, and then it's the biggest show of the year with your fresh new titles, and you go, nope, we're not putting them on there. And then they get mad at us for going like, why aren't you doing that? And you're doing this instead when this has really no steam to it yet, but this has a lot of steam to it. And then he's like, well, just watch the show. Okay.
We'll say it's been a horrible PR week for WWE this week of all weeks to just say some stuff. But do you, I guess, whatever you think is good for business. I'm not here to say anything.
We the World Tag Team titles.
Oh yeah, I love wrestling, and I always will love wrestling, and I understand what wrestling is and what it's built on. It's built on a lot of poo-poo yuckiness. And whatever, you just take the good with the bad in life. That's just life. But the World Tag Team titles are on the line. And let me tell you, the United States Championship was a snack break. This may be, I may need a nap because I'm going to be up since 3 a.m. watching Stand and Deliver. So I need a nap at some point. If I take a little power nap for 15 minutes and it's this match, will it matter? No.
Well, the New Day is bringing home them titles, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that too. I guess they're going to win.
I would agree. I would agree that we are going to see the heel. Now, I will throw this out there. Do we think that the reason maybe this was added to WrestleMania is maybe we see Big E here? To maybe. My thing is, right, so the New Day turned heel a while ago. Great heel. Like, the actual moment was good. And it's all about Big E. They didn't care that he had a broken neck. He should have been there the whole time, blah, blah, blah. They're fighting two guys. They're fighting two guys that almost lost their wrestling careers due to neck injuries. Why has that not been the focal point or the crux of this whole?
Well, I think they did mention it, didn't they? Didn't they mention it on Raw?
I think they did. Well, because there was the segment where they tried to break their necks with the chairs. You know,
that's a sentence.
It's just a ridiculous segment. It's a ridiculous thing to say, but it's pro wrestling. What are we talking about? You know what I mean? But they did that thing where they wrapped the chairs around the necks and stuff. But I feel like they haven't leaned into it enough. I feel like that should be the whole crux.
Well, to be fair, JPJ, this match has been building for 2.5 weeks.
I was going to say a week and a half,
perhaps
whatever.
3.
Yeah.
So they haven't really had time to do that. But it's Mania worthy, and Chelsea Green isn't.
All right, so I think we are all in agreement. Heel New Day will be the new champs on Raw there, and they'll, great, okay,
sure.
As we continue to move forward,
hey, I've got a bold prediction. I'm going to say something that just popped into my head. All right, New Day win, and then on Raw after Mania, they do an open challenge, and the Hardys come out.
That'd be fun.
Ooh. The Hardys Matt Hardy keeps saying on his podcast that they're going to be on the main roster at some point very, very soon. Why not have it on the Raw after Mania? Get a nice big pop, do TNA versus WWE Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I would be more than okay with that. And then
that's my bold prediction.
And then I think we lead to SummerSlam being the New Day versus the Lucha Bros. That's what we're going to do at SummerSlam for those tag titles. I think that's probably where we head at some point. Sure. I think that's a big match for them. All right. We have just the 2 world title matches and our main event of the evening left on night 1. Let's start with the singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. This build was atrocious up until these last couple weeks. Now, I will preface this and say that segment a couple weeks ago that happened in the ring, that was a trash segment. That was an awful segment of television. Yeah. Yeah, that was a terrible segment. However, just let them keep on going until they stop. Yeah, there we go.
That's what she said. I kind of loved it. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
It was horrible garbage.
It was
Horrible
awful.
garbage.
But one thing that was positive that came out of it is it had people talking. And before that segment, nobody was talking. Nobody was talking about this.
Got people talking.
It got people talking, and I think what we saw last week on SmackDown, where they weren't talking, they were physical with each other before the show. Charlotte attacks her. Charlotte attacks her. I thought it was good. I thought they. It's been good the last couple weeks.
I'm sorry. JPJ's gonna hate this. What, Spencer? I can't hear you. It's so squeaky. What do you mean we're in trouble?
Yeah.
At one point, she was holding her ear while she was doing it. It made me fucking laugh so hard. But Charlotte, 15-time world champ, baby. Tiffy's gonna lose this belt. It's time to lose it. See you later.
Really? Wow.
Tiffany Stratton is the most unnatural babyface ever. Here's the problem with this program is that they're two natural heels. We don't want Charlotte as a babyface. We don't want Tiffy as a babyface. They're just two heels. And I think there's more to do after with Charlotte being a champion. And if you really want to try this Tiffany babyface run, it's all in the chase. She's already won the thing. No one cares anymore. Once you win the title, what is there? You're turning babyface as a champion already, and you cashed in. It's just a recipe for six. She is a babyface by necessity. It is just necessary at this point because Charlotte was getting booed. And we all want to boo Charlotte. It's fun. I'm very pro Charlotte. I just think that it's just been weird. The way that I shouldn't say that Tiffany can't be a babyface. She can. It's just the way that it's been executed has been by necessity instead of by
might have been a bad time to try to execute it too.
Well,
it's also the problem is that when she cashed in, I think a lot of us were like, well, she's going to feud with Nia. And then they kind of dropped it for a minute. And then they brought it back randomly with Trish Stratus because they were trying to get Tiffany cheered because Trish is Canadian. And then that kind of went under the radar a little bit. And then all of this stuff happened with Charlotte. And it's just been awkward. And it's been, I don't know. I've said from the start, the moment this match was made, the match itself is not going to be the problem. I think they're going to show up. I think they're going to have a great match. I do. Charlotte shows up at WrestleMania. Tiffany's on a trajectory of like, she's building a portfolio of really good matches. I don't think the match is going to be the problem. Is that aside from the last couple of weeks, people talking about it for better or for worse, it's just been a really nothing build. There hasn't been too much to it. They've been dressing the same, but they haven't really like acknowledged it. Like lean into that shit. Like you're me. Like they haven't really acknowledged that. It's just been like typical, like you're the queen. I'm going to beat you. Get off the pedestal. And then Charlotte's like, I'm the world champion soon again. And it's just been like, and then that happened. And then it's just like this weird, like uncomfortable, like, I hate using the word shoot, but like, I don't know, man. It's just been like Charlotte's been like sink or swim with this, and then Tiffany really hasn't done either. She hasn't sunk, but she certainly hasn't been swimming very well. It's just dog paddling, to be honest.
And Josh knows I am, and Ophelia, I'm going to lean into that right now. I like Charlotte. I am not anti-Charlotte. Charlotte has pissed me off in this because I think Charlotte has been very unprofessional in this build to WrestleMania. It is clear, and again, I'm not saying nothing is on Tiffany because it is clear that Tiffany has been struggling finding what her character is since they've made her a full-on babyface. It is very clear. Now, to me, Charlotte being the veteran and being who she is, this should be a moment where she is helping Tiffany along the way to WrestleMania, not going into business for herself in that sit down where she knew every answer that Tiffany was. I don't know if somebody fed it to her. I don't know what happened, but if you watch that sit down that they had, she knew every single thing that Tiffany was going to say. And she bullied her, and not in a heel character way. She bullied her in a way to genuinely make Tiffany look bad. And that trash segment a couple weeks ago was the receipt from Tiffany, because Tiffany strikes me as one of these people that even though she's young, she's like, you're not doing that shit to me.
Can I counter argument? I don't disagree with you. I really don't. Yeah. I just want to start off by saying I don't disagree, but let's just counter argument for argument's sake. Okay, Charlotte did do those things. It was pretty obvious that was especially that sit down interview. Here's the thing. If Tiffany can't counteract, doesn't it kind of prove that maybe she isn't ready to be in a spot like this?
But is she allowed to counteract? She doesn't have the leash that Charlotte has, where Charlotte can do Charlotte.
That's understandable.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I understand. I listen. I'm not disagreeing because I actually do probably more so lean into like Charlotte's the veteran. She should be helping someone who is way less experienced, especially in big matches and big programs. Really, outside of Becky Lynch, Tiffany hasn't had like a big, massive program where she's worked with someone.
This is her first legitimate one.
Such stature and such like entity as Charlotte Flair. I mean, she's arguably the end all be all in a lot of people's minds, or at least in WWE's mind or whatever. But a sink or swim moment, if you can't swim and you're kind of, even if it is bullying and all those things that you are stating, somewhere in that management land, someone's gone, okay, but she didn't do very well in this situation. So how are we meant to put her into situations like this with other people? So if she can't keep up, is that really telling of a world champion? Again, I'm just counter-arguing to counter-arguing. There's got to be, if I'm thinking that, someone else has to think that as well, right?
Maybe. Ophelia says, I think Tiffany might worry more about going against the plans versus Charlotte knowing she can get away with it. She knows what she can get away with.
All in all, though, these segments have been awkward. They don't have a lot of chemistry for whatever reason. Maybe they genuinely don't like each other. Maybe this was the plan. Who knows? How are we meant to know? At the end of the day, we don't officially know. We just have to believe what we believe, and whatever gets you to sleep at night, believe that. But like the last 2 weeks, again, any publicity, bad publicity is, what's the line? What's the saying? Good bad publicity.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
It is
what it is. It's just, I think that Charlotte Flair will win this match, and I think that this doesn't continue.
I also think Charlotte, when she came back, I think she was expecting more of a welcoming return than she got, and things kind of just unraveled from there.
There is ways to get Charlotte cheered. Like if you look at her interviews that she's done in the lead up to WrestleMania, she's lent into that emotion of like, this is my comeback, and like I've been through a lot. Lean into that. There's nothing babyface to me about being the best. You're telling me that you're better than me, so I don't like that. But if you lean into more of the, like, I tore my ACL for this. I went through a lot of stuff personally in the last year that has broke me down, and I'm coming back to try and show you guys that I'm still as good as I was in 2021 or whatever. You can't. There is ways to get anyone cheered if you want to get them cheered. The problem is that Charlotte come back, immediately won the Royal Rumble, and then had a promo telling you how she's been the world champion 14 times over. Where's the babyface in that?
Yeah,
you're telling me that you're so much better than me. That is heel. I don't know how you ever thought that was going to be a babyface.
And I think that's really the main problem is WWE shot themselves in the foot immediately with this, even before Charlotte even returned.
Yes, Bryn, she lost to Rhea Ripley.
Yes, she lost to Rhea. I think you nailed it, Josh. And I think, even before Charlotte even came back and won the Royal Rumble, when you had, Adam Cole beat Claudio, and Claudio is literally destroying ringside and being angry on. But I feel like when they should have built to Tiffany cashing in while she was already a baby, you should have built to Tiffany being a baby face before she cashed in on Nia.
Well, they were trying to do that with Nia, but then they just dropped that. It was weird.
She did this. She gets this huge pop for cashing in, and then the very next week, like the next couple weeks after that, she was still cutting her heel Tiffany promos. She was,
was
and
really
it
odd.
was just weird, and it was like
I
she
guess they
should
were
have
still
already
trying
been
to
the baby face before.
I guess
Charlotte
in their
got involved.
brains, they were trying to build. They knew Charlotte was coming back. They probably had the plan for Charlotte to win. So they're like, well, Tiffany's going to be the heel here. So like, let's keep her being a heel. But the fans were so like, a cash in can go two ways. It can either be that like heel, like cunning, like, you snuck it, or it's a babyface thing. Like she beat Nia Jax. Who's no one's cheering Nia, and I mean that respectfully.
Yeah,
but like, and they built the whole thing of like Nia was her bully. So like, of course you're going to cheer Tiffany in this instant, but no matter what, even when there's like a big character shift when you go from heel to baby or baby to heel, there still has to be adjustments. You still have to, instead of being like, oh, I hate this town, it's like, what's up? It's California. Like you have to do that. That's just a part of, being a baby face or a heel. But it's just been very awkward. And again, this match wouldn't surprise me if you're walking out of WrestleMania weekend being like, fucking hell. That was one of the best matches of the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, and I agree with you, and we've talked about it, you and I. I said that the match itself was the only thing that I wasn't worried about.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. Shut your mouth, Spencer.
Here we go. Get me started. Don't get me started.
Don't get me started on that shit.
So Josh, you are picking Charlotte. Pluggo.
Yeah.
Are you
I'm taking Tiffany.
So
I think they're gonna. I think they want to give it to her.
In my opinion,
I'm going to be different than you two.
No,
American
don't say you two. I'm picking Tiffany as well.
Don't you ever call me an American? Ever
my
again.
thing is, look, it is Charlotte Flair. I know how people in the back view Charlotte Flair. I am not going to be shocked at all. Probably when Charlotte Flair wins this match. However, in my opinion, I feel like the proper booking thing here is to put Tiffany over Charlotte and have her get a big win over Charlotte. You know
why? Because bullies never win.
And don't get me wrong, I feel like if they are going to put the title on Charlotte, and I know you said that, Josh, you said you think it would be done after this. I think that if Charlotte does win, I think the payoff is Tiffany chasing back and getting the title back at like SummerSlam or something like that from Charlotte. Because I'm going
Tiffany
to is the future of this division,
not Charlotte, I guess. I guess I'm going to hold my judgment of whether they should continue until I see the match. Because if, for whatever reason, if this match is poo, well, the build has been poo. So then we're just doubling down on the amount of shit in the toilet at that point. Yeah. So we don't want that. Yeah. So if the match is really good, calls for another, then by all means, let's go. But I think it's best if these two are separated after this, no matter the finish.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Scott's saying that he thinks they're going to do Charlotte and Jade.
That'll be down the road at some point.
Yeah. And Bryn is saying, I'm honestly just tired of seeing Charlotte completely dominate the women's division and having a title all the time. And then Spencer's got some good ideas of maybe, I know Charlotte is the heel there, but maybe during the match, like they do something that makes it like definitive, like Charlotte wins in a crappy manner and then destroys Tiffany after, or something along those lines to kind of make it, But anyway, listen, it's one of the most polarizing things going
backlash between these two?
Maybe
they run it back.
Oh my god!
Back.
All right.
Josh is regretting his decision to show up here tonight.
We have a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It is the men's Royal Rumble winner, the first men's Royal Rumble winner to not main event a night of WrestleMania, as Jey Uso will be challenging Gunther. He is the first. True. I think it is. I think he is.
No. Wow, John Cena in 24 won the Royal Rumble, and he was in a triple threat with Randy. At 24, WrestleMania 24.
Oh, WrestleMania 24.
Yeah, he was in a triple threat. He won the Rumble that year, and he didn't main event. Edge and Taker did. Edge and Taker went on last. I love that WrestleMania. That is my favorite WrestleMania.
But Cena won the Rumble that year, like Edge or Taker didn't.
Cena won the Rumble because it was at Madison Square Garden when he came back, and then he ended up being in a triple threat with Randy and Triple H, and they went on in the middle of the show.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fair. Well, I listened to another podcast, and they said it. I believe them. I believe that.
Don't believe everything.
But
You
anyway,
hear. I say a lot of
the
dumb.
problem with our day and age.
I say a lot of dumb
It was a
stuff
credible.
on this show.
It was a credible podcast. Credible podcast. It wasn't some schmucks. These
How
were
do you
well-known
become
people.
how do you become a credible podcast?
Hey, look at they have a big. Look at
Don't watch this show.
But either way,
He's not lying.
either way.
That was
Jay-
never in the discussion when we started this show 4 years ago. It was
There
never
you go.
like
So
we
it's
should be
happened multiple
we
times.
should be a credible podcast. We never had that
Undertaker as
conversation.
well. Well, listen, I believe people. That's why you don't trust anybody, like Stone Cold Steve Austin said, because they'll let you down. So I'm not going to watch that podcast anymore. But anyway,
Aw.
Jey Uso versus Gunther for the world title. I expect this to open. I don't know why Jeremy had to say that, Scott. This has been a no-brainer opening of night one since they booked the thing. So I don't think that that's like shocking news that that's what it should be. Here's my thing, guys. I think Gunther should win this match, but I think Jey Uso will, because if Jey Uso doesn't, his character is dead forever. Doesn't matter. Gone. See you later. Go back to being a tag team guy, because you are done. If you do not win this championship match, yeet. So Jey Uso.
Couldn't agree more. Yeet. I don't have anything to add. Yeet.
That's how I feel.
Fair.
That's how
I literally don't have anything to add.
I think that's how I think that's how everybody.
Oh, I do
feels.
have something to add. Gunther cut the promo of his fucking life on Raw, and then Jey Uso come out and went, "I'm going to stand on this table." Yeet.
Did nothing. Did nothing.
He's like, I'm going to say the
My
same
brother
thing
dead.
I said.
Yeet.
Why? Okay.
I'm going to say the same thing I said last week. Yeet.
Yeet.
Okay. Can I tell you something?
No.
Yeet.
The promo that Jay cut to Gunther in the ring should have happened on Monday.
Yeah.
Why did that happen last week? And then the follow-up to that is Jey Uso doing jack shit. He said nothing of importance in that promo. Nothing.
I can't remember.
Gunther had the best promo of his world title run that like almost solidified that he should win this match. 1000% should be the guy that wins this match. And Jay came out and did jack shit on Monday. Didn't say one thing of importance or anything. That it was just nonsense. And
This match is a perfect example of my brain and my heart working against one another, because I really do like Gunther. I like his world title run. I think it's getting better now than it has been in the beginning. And I'd like to see it continue. But that being said, for all reasons JPJ listed before, Jay has to win this match. He has to win this match. I think me and you have said over the last year that Jey Uso just isn't the wrestler for us.
No.
JPJ. He's not. But that doesn't negate the fact that he is so wildly over and so many people love him. And when he won the Royal Rumble, I was genuinely shocked, and I wasn't mad about it at all. I was just like, whoa, I can't believe this. But this story has been him losing and losing and losing. He has to win. Otherwise, he's just a loser. And you can't do that all the time. He has to win this match. There's no other finish for me in which he doesn't walk out as world champion, because otherwise his character is dead in the water.
There's no way to recover from that. There is no way to recover him as a legitimate solo person if he loses this match. There's no way. There is no way. He's dead.
Also, I think by the way, I think this match will be really good. They've had really good matches in the past. I do genuinely think, and this is the perfect match to open night 110,000 million %. Like, this should open night one. You give the crowd like a nice jerk off moment. They love yeeting.
They're just out there jerking off.
Well, you know how they are. They love Jey Uso, and they can just. I mean, if you go by anything of our sim, by the way, he's going to ascend from the heavens. Mr.
Yes,
Jey Uso,
he will.
From the
he
heavens of the stadium.
And even Drew says, because we fought for weeks about it, but he said it took all the way until the go-home show for me to be disappointed in this feud while I was fighting with JPJ multiple weeks about it. Because here's the thing. I like the substance of Jay's promo that he cut in the ring with Gunther, where he was doing his Kevin McAllister from Home Alone. I'm not afraid anymore. You hear that? I'm not scared of anymore. That's what Jey Uso was in the ring. A week after, this man is choking your brother to death, covered in blood, calling you a P word while he's doing it. Like, literally.
Did he call him a...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did he?
Oh,
Did I miss that?
Repeatedly.
That's
repeatedly.
Awesome.
He was looking right at him, calling him it. No, there was a P in front of Wussy there. There was a P instead of the W. Oh yeah.
He in front of
Really?
Wussy there?
Oh yeah.
Wussy?
Gunther was in in the ring beating the shit out of his brother to a bloody pulp, calling him a wussy but with a P repeatedly, and all Jey Uso does the next week is stand 5 feet across from that man and didn't beat his ass. You didn't try to beat his ass. Literally tried to murder your brother a week before.
Saving it for
it,
WrestleMania.
punking out Gunther a little bit because Gunther was ready for a fight, but then Jey
He wants to make sure he makes it to WrestleMania. He wants to take his world heavyweight championship.
That should have happened on Monday. That should have happened this week.
If Gunther destroyed me or Josh, would you walk up to him and start fighting him?
Yes.
Okay.
Immediate. I'd lose. I'd lose.
Okay.
But yes.
You'd live to fight another day.
I don't have a brother. I only have a sister. But let me tell you, if 1 week I saw somebody beat my sister to a bloody pulp, and then I saw them within range of me as a human being the next week, people need to pull me off of that person. They would need to pull me off of that person. I'm not having a conversation with that person.
I have 2 brothers and a sister. So like I probably wouldn't do it for my older brother. He's kind of a piece of shit. But my little brother, I would help out.
Yeah. That's fine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So how about this? What are the chances that Gunther retains, like out of 100%?
5.
0.00001.
Yeah, I would honestly probably say 0% at this point, but at most 5%, I'd be willing to.
Gunther's not winning this match.
I can't see it. Okay. Because of what that would mean for
Jey Uso has to win this match, and then if he loses it in 2 months, whatever. But like,
I don't disagree with you guys. I was just curious what the percentages were.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's like 70-30 Jey right now. Because I still think like Austin, Gunther's made this storyline. You guys said it. It was the best promo. Like there's still, and they've protected Gunther.
And they love Gunther the way
they love him.
Yeah.
So I don't want to completely write it off. I think it would be a huge misstep if Jey didn't win because then you do kind of.
What the fuck was that?
Oh, it's my dryer. I'm so excited. I'm pushing buttons on my dryer.
Yeah, Pluggo doesn't sit at a desk. He sits on his
studio.
He sits on his washing machine, so he gets a bit of a yeet himself.
Yeah, exactly.
My studio is a laundry room.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's the quietest room in the house. I live in an older style house with hardwood floors. So, and sometimes if the boys are running around, you can hear them up top. But I tried doing it in the bedroom early on, and it just was like, shut up.
I know we got a lot of WrestleMania to talk to, but I need to talk about. But I want to ask Americans about this. Why is every house in America 2 stories? That's not a thing in this country.
Well, there are a lot of ranches. We have a lot of ranches.
There's a lot of people that always are like upstairs, and I'm like, if you have an upstairs house in Australia, you're like hella rich.
This is why, because what they've decided to do is, I live in the city, and all my neighbor is like, we're right on top. They build up so that they could build more.
Yeah,
they go that route, especially in the city. So like, I have like a unfinished basement, then I've got like the main level, then we have the upstairs. Like,
and a lot of those
but houses, it's a small house.
Yeah, and a lot of the houses that go up like that, a lot of them have like multiple tenants. Like you'll have a family that's on the first floor, and then do you have basements? I assume in Australia, you don't have basements at all?
Not really. Some houses, like very old houses, do. Basements aren't a thing here.
Shep is saying we need a space to get away from the wife and kids. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
I just became gay, so then that
away from them. Yeah, there you go.
I would hate to know what's creeping around in an Australian basement, dude.
I don't want to.
We don't really. You're so afraid of this country.
I'm not afraid of them. I just don't want to go in my shower.
That sounds like someone who's afraid.
Okay,
I did a little bit.
I don't want to wake up. I don't want to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go in the shower and see a 4-foot spider. That's not what I want to see.
It doesn't happen. That's
not what I want to see.
Happen.
I don't want to open my door and there's a 2-foot fucking iguana fucking shooting across the
Between two beards, does Australia.
Having an iguana, you're just having like a king brown snake, which is like the second deadliest snake in the world.
Yeah. I just want that passing me.
Just get a shovel and move him. Anyway, or you could just call someone. Hey, buddy.
Shep just said, he said, but they got the King Browns down there.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. All right. So we're all in agreement here. Jey Uso has to win this one before we move over to our main event of night one.
Yeah.
All right. We are at the main event of night one. It is a Paul Heyman on a pole match, triple threat.
I thought it was a Paul Heyman love.
That's what it is. I was like, I wish there were more stakes. but the stakes
Isn't that
are
weird?
Paul Heyman.
That
Paul
our
Heyman
night
is the
one main
stakes.
event of WrestleMania stakes are
Paul Heyman's love.
either Paul Heyman services or he doesn't show up because Seth doesn't want him to be there.
Yep. It is Roman Reigns. It is CM Punk. It
I wanna
is Seth
see
Rollins.
JPJ box a kangaroo.
I would lose.
ass
In
Definitely.
one of the biggest triple threat matches of all time, Paul Heyman will be in CM Punk's corner for this, as that was the favor to get under Roman's skin. I really love the way that they have portrayed Seth here these last couple weeks as kind
Welcome
of,
to the chat, Corey.
you know, Seth is loving this. He is truly like loving the anguish that these two are putting Heyman through, and he's really getting under Heyman's skin. Like Roman doesn't love you the way you think he does. Punk is using you to get under Roman, and Seth is like, they're just using you, man. And Seth is just kind of letting this happen, but trying to be slimy and maneuver his way under everybody's skin.
Seth is the sibling that goes, I'm not in your room. I'm out in the hallway. I'm not in your room. And you're like, get out of my room. And he's like, I'm not in your room. This is the hallway. This is all he's been doing this whole time.
Yep. And I think going into this, besides the last 2 or 3 weeks, it kind of had a similar vibe to last week, where like Rollins for a little bit was feeling like the third wheel, like he was the fourth wheel last year in the tag match in night one. It was having that vibe, but now all of a sudden, the way that Seth is gone and with the Heyman stuff the last 2 or 3 weeks, Seth has become the favorite for a lot of people in this match. Now, there are people thinking that Heyman turns now on Romans and Punk and leaves with Seth or things like that. There's a lot of people getting creative with what they think is going to happen here. Josh, I'll slide it to you first. Are you along the lines of you think Seth is in the driver's seat, that he could leave as the victor in this triple threat?
I want Seth to win. I think it does the most for Seth Rollins if he wins this match. Now, if you asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said he's leaving with Paul Heyman. Now they've kind of leaned a little bit. They don't. I do think that the ultimate plan for hello, Giddy. Giddy. Hi, Giddy. All right. I do think the ultimate plan is for Seth Rollins to be a heel. I don't know in the matter of how. I've seen a lot of people being like, he's going to align with Cena and The Rock and all that. And I'm like, I don't know about that. But there is a little part of me that's like, Seth and Paul Heyman together could be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just a really fun dynamic. It's something different that we haven't seen before. I don't recall in that kind of scenario with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't really know how. I guess it was cleaned up a little bit on Raw after Seth didn't murder Paul Heyman. He owed him a favor, and I was like,
no, that's not how that works.
But they did kind of clean that up on Raw and be like, you know, I don't think you're gonna like give me a favor. I don't think that's gonna happen. But who knows? This is probably, there's something really, what I like about this match the most is that if I close my eyes and envision the finish of this match, there's a finish for everybody winning in my brain.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool, because I think this match, as the kids say, the youngins these days, they say this match will be cinema. There's two triple threats on there's two triple threats on this WrestleMania extravaganza, whatever you want to call it. And I think one of them is in-ring wrestling. The other one is storytelling driven. And I think this one is the story trail. And both are great for different reasons.
Yeah.
But if you put a gun to my head right now, which I know Americans love, is that Seth Rollins is the winner.
The only guns I love are these right here, baby.
Don't get me yeeting on screen.
Yeah.
Watch out. Boys.
I think Seth is going to win, because I do agree with the first thing you said, Josh. I think Seth winning does the most for anybody individually in this match. Punk or Roman win, it's another big win for Punk and Roman, but we've seen them win. Seth, I feel like, kind of needs a big win like this, and I think this could give Seth a lot of momentum moving forward. So I'm picking Seth. I don't want Heyman involved in the finish. I would like Heyman to just kind of get fed up with the bullshit and maybe walk out of the match, maybe. Like if Punk and Roman especially are still bickering about him, like in the match in different parts, I would love Heyman to just kind of be like, you know what? Fuck the both of you. I'm done with this. You guys have been making my life hell. I'm leaving. And he just kind of walks out, and then that leads to both those guys
brings out a brand new Paul Heyman guy to attack the winner.
I don't know about that, but you know what I mean. It's just one of those things where I feel like Seth is going to win. I feel like Seth is going to win here.
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I hope so. I like Seth a lot. I've liked Seth for a really long time. And I just, again, like I said before, I just think it does the most. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think this hurts anybody to be losing a big, massive match like this. I don't think it hurts anybody, but it's intriguing. I would say, like, we've never really had like a triple threat blood feud, whatever you want to call it, like rivalry like this. Like, it's always for a championship, or it's for something for, it's just for, this is just like three dudes that really don't like each other for different reasons too.
And the most interesting part of this is like, what is Paul Heyman gonna do?
Yeah,
which is crazy. Like, because it's Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. You think it'd be for a championship, like I said, but no, it's for. I'm always gonna pick Punk. I think Punk's first main event. I'm always gonna pick him. I don't necessarily. If he doesn't win, I think it's Seth for sure. Because it's more interesting that way. And I love how we're just like, Roman. But this is Seth's last chance to do what he has said for the last 6 months. Stop CM Punk from winning at WrestleMania and take down Roman Reigns. So he kind of has to do it. This has been his whole mindset, is to just destroy these two guys for everything that they've ever done to this company. Whether it's Punk trying to tear it down when he left, or Roman being like, just the last 3 years, you've basically manipulated and used everybody for your own personal gain. So it's got to be Seth coming out on top, right? Like, big, just like, gotcha at the end there.
I didn't expect all of us to be.
I gotcha. You thought I was losing my mind, but here I am. Boom.
I didn't expect all of us to say Seth.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of been the vibe these last few weeks. I think a lot of people have swayed to Seth because of how they.
The entrances for this match is going to be.
And I have talked. We've all probably talked about WrestleMania at length, so I don't remember exactly where this was said. But somebody had said that the infighting with Punk and Roman in this match that causes Seth to win will get us a Punk and Roman one-on-one proper, maybe in a Hell in a Cell or something like that. I think it might have been Dan on something earlier, but I don't remember.
I honestly don't necessarily think that Punk and Seth have got everything out of that program yet, either. If they wanted to revisit that later down the line, I think there still is more gas in that tank if they wanted to do that. But yeah, man, I think this match is going to be really fun. I really do. I'm excited for it.
Whip, as the kids say.
It should be great.
Is that what they say? Do they say whip?
Some kids say that match is going to whip.
Holy shit, I'm so out of it with kid lingo.
I'm going to whip, and then I'm going to name Okay.
No, that's not. That's old.
Moon, right?
That's old. That's an old thing.
That was like when I was.
That's like when I was. Come on, dude.
When I was a wee lad.
So
when I was a wee lad back in the day.
You all know that was a long time ago.
All right. We slide on over to night 2, which will be on Sunday evening, on Easter, on 420 party.
Gonna be high as a kite, gnawing on a ham.
Gonna be. I was gonna say I'm gonna be fed up on ham and potatoes and high as It is what it is.
I'm gonna be rifling through my kids' Easter candy like you're giving me that.
Yep, gaining weight that day, people. Gaining weight.
Just that day, I do it every day.
Well, we have 6 matches. Nick Wayne just won the Ring of Honor TV championship. He just beat Commander for the Ring of Honor.
No, nice. I was hoping that was the direction they were going to go with that. Because
that just happened. Nick Wayne. All right, we have 6 matches on this card. And let's start. We asked Spencer before he left what match he was looking forward to the most, and he said he was looking forward to this Sin City street fight that we have here.
Do you get it? Because they're in Las Vegas.
Yes. Yeah. Insert town name here or town nickname here. Street fight. That's what this is.
That's a knee slap.
It is Damian Priest going one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. Now, there were certain things that Spencer said that I agreed with. I do feel like these two guys have a chip on their shoulder. We've seen them both have great matches before. Clearly, they're 2 world champions from last year as well. These are two great guys that I think both feel like they deserved better on this WrestleMania card than where their placement is, especially Drew. He's been very vocal about it. And I also feel like these are two guys that are going to go out there with a point to prove. And they're going to say, like I said, they're going to want to come through that curtain after this match and say, follow that. I do think this has potential to be one of the sleeper best matches of the weekend. With that being said, in my opinion, and Pluggo, I'll slide it to you after, and we'll end this one on Josh. I got Drew McIntyre winning this one. In my opinion, he was the best performer in the company of all last year. I got Drew winning, and hopefully moving back up to a world title area afterwards.
No disrespect to Damian Priest.
Oh, of course not. We love Damian Priest.
We love him too.
Rise.
Oh, Rise. But yeah, it's Drew's match, I think, to win. My most intrigue with this is like, how far are we going to go with this Sin City street fight with these two? Like we said a little earlier, these two are going to want to really show out and steal the show. How deep into the streets of Las Vegas are we really going to go? But at the end of the day, I think it's Drew. I wish there was more to this, honestly. I wish there was a little bit more. But again, they kind of threw it together. And
I think this build has been one of the better builds.
I
mean in terms of like, I wish there was more stakes to it. Like there was like a
Sure.
number one contendership or something, because these guys have been so good.
I agree with like Drew especially should have probably been in something bigger. However, there is a story to tell here.
Sure.
Like Damian cashed in on Drew.
Yep.
Like they both won the world title last year at WrestleMania. And Damian, and they had that match. I understand they had a match. Oh God, Lou is here.
Lou,
hi Lou. I think he muted you, JPJ.
Does Giddy like Lou, or does Giddy kind of turn his nose when Lou shows up?
Gid doesn't give a shit about anyone but Giddy. Do you, Gid? I don't know where she went. Where'd you go? She doesn't care. Hi Lou. But yeah, I think there's obviously a story to tell. They had their little match, but there was more here. Is this a WrestleMania worthy? I don't know. What is
the main event of SmackDown the night before?
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Again, I think Bryn maybe said something in the chat, but this will be fun, and they're going to beat the absolute crap out of one another.
Bryn
and I'm very into that.
Yeah, Bryn said they personally don't care who wins. They just know it's going to be a blast.
Will we see blood?
That's how I kind of feel. Maybe. I'm not.
Do we think we see glass?
Real glass?
Because of what they did. Well, hopefully they don't tell Phil. Hopefully they don't tell Phil.
Glass Inspector Punk is on the throne.
Well, this is on night 2. CM Punk's on night 1. He might not be there.
Anyway, but I think this match will be fun, and I do think Drew wins because I think it's just. I think Drew. I hate the word deserves in wrestling, but I think he does. He's earned this way more than, and that's not just. I like Damian Priest. I think he's great. But Damian Priest could go out on SmackDown the next week, win a number one contenders match, and fight for the world title, and I'd be like, cool.
Yeah,
no problem.
I agree. All right, the only other match that is not for a title on night 2 is a one-on-one match, potentially AJ Styles' last WrestleMania match. He is going one-on-one with Logan Paul. I expect this match to be a very good one. They are both super athletic. I expect this one to be one of the more visually appealing matches of the weekend, of this night, but of the weekend. I expect a super high spot with Logan Paul and all that stuff that we have come to expect. This, for me, I got Logan Paul winning this one. I don't really, I do like the Karrion Kross aspect of it, of what he's been doing with AJ these last couple weeks.
The best part about this story. He's actually been telling us a story instead of just, like, have they explained at any point in this story outside of Karrion Kross why the hell these two are wrestling one another? I still don't know. Why are they wrestling one another? I don't. Tell me a concrete answer. There's no answer. I don't care. Again, I agree with JPJ. I think this match will be fine. I think it'll be good. Logan will win because it's AJ Styles. He loses quite a lot. Logan doesn't honestly win that often. So I think Logan will win. But Karrion has been the guy that's been, even in the slightest, interesting me in anything of this program outside of thinking this match will be fine. I don't really have any thing to add to it, except Logan wins with
Does
his.
Karrion get involved? Does he show up?
I don't-
Does he
I
come
don't-
ringside or anything?
I don't think there's any. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't 100% say no, but I do think that this Logan will just kind of win, and then Logan will probably not be around again for a few months, and then Karrion will go into a program properly with AJ. But that all could be scrapped in a week because they've been doing that quite a lot lately.
Yeah. I think I know Logan Paul is kind of he's full time, or at least you hear from him, and he says he's full time now. From everything you're reading, he's fully committed. He's full time. So I don't know if he goes away for like a ton of time after Mania, because I think Logan wins this match, because I think at some point this calendar year, like Logan's at least gonna be fighting for a world title again this year. I feel like whether we like it or not, I know a lot of people, including me, would prefer other things, but it is what it is. But I feel like that's how they view him with his following. I just think that's how they view him. I expect Logan to win. Pluggo, you agreeing with us for another match? And hey,
that's pretty crazy, though. You said might be AJ Styles' last race.
It might be. It could be.
And he's going to go out to a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the headlines, Logan winning at Mania, beating AJ Styles. I think that by the end of this, we're going to see AJ Styles make a return to TNA. Not in he's going to do something in TNA at some point before it's all said and done. Yeah. The Karrion Kross thing, I think you could do that. It'd be a perfect match to do at Backlash. Karrion Kross, AJ Styles, something like that if they keep it going. But yeah, I think Logan Paul gets the win, grabs the headlines. But again, I'm not super excited for this. They kind of did this. They kind of leaned into you're a phenomenal wrestler, you're a YouTuber, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we will.
Is that the story here?
Kind of.
At least for the Karrion Kross thing, he's been trying to get the anger out of AJ.
Yeah, he's been trying to,
because AJ needs to save.
Because AJ can't lose to this guy.
Lose to a YouTuber, because then the YouTubers will come take over.
Yes,
the
pro
wrestling.
That's why taking over the world, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why Karrion Kross, everybody's speculating, he put his hands behind his back to take so AJ could get the win, to get the confidence. Yeah. He's kind of trying to beat it out of AJ Styles, but
getting his evil ways out of him.
Yeah,
that's a TNA reference.
I see what you did there. All right, tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. We have the champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez going against the team that was just put together a week ago, that ran through your whole SmackDown Women's Tag Team roster on Friday. A team that was just put together, involving the Intercontinental Champion, who should be defending her belt in its first year of existence. But I digress.
I don't. What the fuck is going the fuck on with that bull crap? Why couldn't you just do a women's tag team championship multi-team match with Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, people like that? Instead, you have Lyra Valkyria, the women's Intercontinental Champion, not wrestling for the Intercontinental Championship at the WrestleMania where they're first fucking there. What the shit is going on? Liv and Raquel 100% will retain. I don't think this match will be even that bad. I really don't. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think Bailey's turning on Lyra, and this is going to be
okay. So,
although I think Lyra returning on Bailey would be more interesting because she needs it.
I agree. I actually would prefer Lyra to be the one that does the turning, to
be
honest with you. Yeah. Can I tell you? And look, I will.
Birds of War from.
I will say this. I am upset about this because of the IC title situation and things like that. I am not upset about Bailey and Lyra. Lyra is becoming one of my favorite in-ring wrestlers in the whole country. She's incredible, and she's strong as hell. Deceptively strong. She's very good. That gauntlet match was very good, and their performance in that gauntlet match was very good. But the problem is, what should have happened was Bailey or Lyra should have turned on the other one, and the Hervis, is that what they call it? What are they calling them?
The Secret Hervis.
The Secret Hervis. The Secret Hervis should have won that gauntlet match. And this should have been Liv and Raquel versus them. And then you could have had Lyra or Bailey walk out or turn on the other one at the end of that gauntlet match and have an intercontinental title match at WrestleMania. There's 3 hours of pre-shows on both nights, guys. 3 hours. And you couldn't fit your 2 mid-card titles, your other SmackDown tag title. You couldn't fit that stuff.
I
on this
understand that
show.
a lot of people will probably complain about being on the pre-show, but I'd rather be on the pre-show of WrestleMania than not on WrestleMania at all.
100%. Bryn, thank you for popping in. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you,
We
Bryn.
appreciate
Thank
you.
for coming.
Hopefully we'll be seeing you here most Thursdays at 8 p.m. Thank you for being awesome in the chat tonight. Thanks for popping in. So that's kind of where my frustrations are. But this is the match I'm actually most confident in. Liv and Raquel are retaining, no questions asked.
100%.
What I would love to see one of the other person turn on them, and then maybe we have an IC title match on the Raw after Mania.
Here's the thing, and all 4 of these women right here deserve and have earned their right to be on WrestleMania.
100%.
That's not what we're getting at
100%.
all. This should be, but also there's other women that should be on, like Nia Jax, who's had arguably one of the better years of any woman. Let's take away gender. I'm sick of saying women's division. Any person in the company, she should be on WrestleMania, as should her friend Candice LeRae. And Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I don't know what the fuck went on there. Alexa Bliss got the biggest reaction of any human being at the Royal Rumble. You couldn't hear her in music over how loud it was. And then they just went, whatever. She doesn't need to be on WrestleMania.
Chelsea Green, you're telling me Chelsea Green doesn't deserve a spot to be on this?
I just don't understand.
You
have this point. You could almost market the countdown shows, right? Of 3 hours of like exclusive to the countdown show. Is your women's IC and US championships on each night? Build them up, or just do. You need 6 or 7 minutes to have a match. You don't. You don't have 7 minutes.
It's just crazy. You're doing 3 hours of pre-show. Well, you can't do the first 2 hours. Are your normal pre-show, in the last hour you have 2 or 3 matches, and
NXT's doing a countdown kickoff match thing. NXT's doing a kickoff match on Stand and Deliver, they only get half an hour. So why the fuck can't WrestleMania?
How are you going to have 3 hours of a pre-show where you're going to be showing the same vignettes you're going to show during WrestleMania before all the matches? You need just 3 hours for that?
Give them 10 minutes.
You can't throw exactly 10, 50. What are you doing, man? It's just,
gets them on WrestleMania. It gets them. I honestly don't subscribe that everybody should be at WrestleMania, but championship should be, and people that have earned the right to be at WrestleMania. I'm not talking about fucking, I don't know, no offense to these people, but like Otis being on WrestleMania. I'm talking about the women's United States champion. I'm talking about Nia Jax, who held the championship for like 6 months. I'm talking about people like that. Yeah. And then they say, oh, but they're going to be on this and they're going to get a push after. But that's going to be the cycle every year then.
But the end game is WrestleMania. This is the point, to get to the big dance and get to showcase.
I don't subscribe to the theory that everyone should be on WrestleMania. However, also, another thing that is annoying is that we have an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown WrestleMania. Where's the women's one? Why aren't the women in one?
They haven't done that.
They did it like for what, 2 years in a row or so, and then they were like, "Oh, we're getting rid of it."
So why isn't that a thing anymore? But then, I don't know. Apparently, certain people in management don't see gender or color or anything like that. Apparently,
yes. The only thing they see is green, baby.
But not Chelsea.
No, I see what you did. I see what you did. Pissed me off. All right. Pluggo, are you in agreement here? You have Liv and Raquel retaining, okay. I think this is the easiest.
And also, I know that the reason that we're all picking Liv and Raquel is because of what we just talked about, but also Liv and Raquel's been killing it too.
Oh yeah, no.
They've been doing a great job, and I think that it's going to show at Mania, and I think
I think we need to establish those championships as not something that changes every. Like let's have it run.
Let them run through it, and and then they become the people that everybody's chasing after to take them down.
Absolutely, 100%.
Agreed.
Good tag team.
Alrighty, and then we have a fatal 4-way for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. It is Braun Breaker defending against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. This one could be juicy. There's a lot of angles, and I will say the thing.
I know, Peggy. The SmackDown tag titles.
The SmackDown tag titles are on tomorrow night and not the show. as well. And
Sorry to
obviously
interrupt, but I
the
just-
speed title as well gets no love.
The new
from
speed
wrestling.
champion, Sol
Ruka.
Ruka.
Yes. We
Well,
love
the reason the speed champion gets no love is because I found it's exclusive to
I
Twitter.
know. I'm kidding. But I was being facetious.
I've never seen a speed match. I've never watched one.
Yeah, we saw
I've
one
watched them.
live when we were at SmackDown, bro, in Cleveland. They filmed 2 of them.
Oh, well, then
So
I guess
SmackDown.
I've seen 2 of them.
Come
But I was listen, in that moment, I was worried about falling to my
That's
death.
fair. That's fair.
We
It
had
was
the
cool.
absolute possible worst seat you could have in that arena.
We get it, guys. You guys can go to SmackDown.
We were
Raw
live in
tapings.
the building, brother. All right. So the way that I've been kind of presenting this is I feel most confident that Braun Breaker is not leaving with the IC title than I do about any of the other 3 actually winning the IC title. I do think it will go to one of the Judgment Day fellas. I think that is something
Dirty
I
Dom,
feel
baby.
pretty confident about, and that's where I'm leaning Pluggo as well. I think Dirty Dom steals it. And that's the thing that is the last straw in Finn Balor's camel back. And he loses his damn mind. And that's how we finally get the destruction of the Judgment Day that follows. Dominic Mysterio sneaks it away and leaves with the IC title. But I think Finn could, I think it's one of those 2. I think Finn could beat Dom for it as well. I think those are the only 2 outcomes for me. But I'm picking Dom. Josh, I'll let you go, and then we'll end it with Pluggo. But I'm picking Dom sneaking away with this IC title.
I think this match is going to be wonderful. Like, it's going to be so good. This match is genuinely going to be so good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can see a scenario or there's an argument for any of them winning. I was in agreement with JPJ until about 24 hours ago. So I thought I was like, Dom's going to sneak it out. Dom's going to win. But I remember a conversation I had with, it may have even been with JPJ. I don't remember. It could have been with someone else, but it was a long time ago. The ultimate plan for Dirty Dom is to be a babyface.
Correct.
And I think it will work. And I think how you do that is you have Finn beat Dom.
Yeah.
And win the IC title. Maybe sneak it, maybe whatever. And then the IC title program for a while is like Finn being an absolute jerk off to Dominic Mysterio. So you build some sympathy for this boy. Because I think there is a universe in where Dom gets cheered. I think it's actually starting.
It's already happened.
It's gotten to the point where it's like hate because we don't like you to hate because we like you.
Exactly.
And it's fun now to do this. But I think this is the start, or we're in the midst of Dom. I'm not saying Dom's going to be a babyface at WrestleMania and then I'm not saying that, but I think it's like the slow build while Finn's doing other things is like you have that build with Finn just being a complete ass to Dom and it was being like, oh my God, stop doing that. And then that moment where Dom finally attacks Finn is like, he's like he's a baby face.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that Finn wins here. And I think it's a version of pinning Dom or like throwing Dom, the old like fatal 4-way drop where someone does the food and then they come and throw him out the ring and they get the pin, something like that. Or like Finn says, lay down for me or something like that. And everyone's like, no, don't do that. And then Dom does it or something like that. I just think Finn walks away as IC champ because the plan is Dom being a babyface. So I guess he will go from dirty Dom to clean Dom.
Yeah. I do think, and we have talked about that, you and John. We've talked about that on this show aplenty too, is I have been saying this for a while as well, that Dom he's earned that respect from going from that, hey, we're booing you and giving you this heat because you're terrible at this. And now it's, hey, we're booing you and giving you this heat because that's what we're supposed to do. Because that's what we're supposed to do. Same reason why I think when we talk about the main event in a few minutes, while John Cena is going to walk out, I think John Cena is going to get booed mercifully because he has that respect with the audience that they're going to do what they're supposed to do. And I think that's where we're at with Dom. And I think Dom has gained the respect of a lot of fans because we've witnessed him get a lot better and get good at this. And he seems like he's a funny guy. You hear any interview with him, he's a funny guy. He seems like a cool kid. The chicken nugget thing, all that stuff. He has babyface written all over him.
Just like you, doesn't like Owen.
Yeah, that's true. He did tell your son that he's a piece of trash. He
sucks
to suck. So that won me over.
That was the funniest thing when I got home. I go, "Did you see the video that Dom sent you?" He goes, "Yeah, it was cool, but why did he say I suck?" And I went, "Bro, real knows real."
He said because he's a heel, bro. That's what you should have said, because he's a heel.
He's a heel. He's a bad guy.
Not everything in life, Owen, is peaches and cream, all right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
People don't like,
It ain't
don't like ya.
lollipops and rainbows all the time, buddy. Gotta get through some
Not
adversity.
everyone's gonna like you, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Sometimes people are
Gotta
going
learn
to
how to
think you
handle
suck, and sometimes they're correct.
Yeah, you gotta handle it. Pluggo, where's your head at with this 4-way?
I've always said I think the money is Dom sneaking it out over Finn, and then Finn losing his absolute mind, and then challenging Dom on Monday Night Raw after Mania.
And you could have Dom lose it on Monday night to Finn.
You could have him lose
get to
it.
The same thing that Josh
But I
was
did-
talking about.
But I did like what Josh said, kind of like Finn holding it, rubbing it in Dom's face in the clubhouse, and then ultimately, we're just waiting for Finn to get his comeuppance from Dom. So there's ways you could go, but that was my first thought. And then Braun Breaker becomes the Paul Heyman guy.
Oh.
Because Paul Heyman's going to be without come night one.
Oh, all right. That's a nice little wrinkle there. All right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Just throwing that out there.
I think Braun Breaker will be Mr. Money in the Bank this year. I think that's that's where I see him heading. All right. We got 2 matches left. I think this match should open night 2, personally. It is the triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. It is Io Sky defending against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Ophelia agrees with you, Pluggo. She said Braun would be the new Heyman guy as well.
See, Ophelia
Pluggo said that Braun Breaker will be the new Paul Heyman guy because he's going to be without come WrestleMania weekend. All right.
It's going to be neat because he needs something to do. Paul's got to have somebody.
And
he needs a lackey that he can manipulate.
Maybe. So we have these 3. This match should be one of, if not the best match of the weekend. I expect this to be an incredible match with these 3. However, I am pretty certain that Rhea Ripley, again, kind of like how I feel about Braun, I feel like Rhea Ripley is not winning more than I know about which one of the other 2 I think is going to win. Because if Rhea's going to win the title back, why the fuck did you take it off her to begin with? That would make no sense to me whatsoever.
It's called a swerve, dude. God,
okay.
you even watch the program?
I do. But if you're going to do a swerve like that, then Rhea winning this match would make 0 sense if you did it that way. So for me, it's between Io and Bianca. And I'm going to let Pluggo go first.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go last on this one because I have my pick. I'm not swaying from
I think it's Bianca Belair, and I think Naomi helps her win it. I don't know why. Not in a good way. And I don't think Bianca loves the idea of Naomi helping her win it. I just think that she gets involved. There's going to be some involvement. It's a triple threats, no DQ. I think Bianca comes out of this thing on top. But I think you're right. I don't think it's Rhea. And I think that them treating Io as an afterthought is a mistake because I could see her winning it too. But I'm going to stick to my gut. My gut says Bianca Belair.
Yeah, and the afterthought part of it, the way that they booked this whole feud where Rhea and Bianca are not even paying attention to Io, that's part of the reason why I'm torn and think that Io could retain because of how they booked it. But there are some aspects with the Bianca stuff where I'm like,
Jade gets involved. There's something missing.
Bianca has yet to lose at WrestleMania. Do they want to start building a new streak and keep Bianca as the person who doesn't lose at WrestleMania? I think that's in it too. I don't know. Josh, where's your head at when it comes to this match? This match is going to rule. It's going to be so good.
Yeah, well, that's a given. This match will be really, really, really good. Okay, I'll first say that Rhea is the one that won't win, as much as I can't go against my Adelaidean roots. But Rhea's not going to win.
We're telling her.
Yeah,
you can tell her all you want. Adelaide's a hole. But I love it. But Rhea won't win. I think it does her a bigger disservice from winning than it does of her losing, because I think we need to see Rhea in a little bit of let's see what Rhea can do without the championship, and let's see what she can build without it. Kind of like the Becky Lynch role from a couple of years ago of like Becky not being the champion and working with different people. I think Rhea can kind of be that vehicle for other programs to exist. Does that mean that I'm 100% certain that she won't win? No, because it's Rhea, and I know how they kind of position Rhea, and she still could win. But I was very much on the team of Bianca winning a lot. I was like, Bianca's going to win. I think it's her time to get back into the title picture. I think the ultimate plan is for her to be a bad guy and fight Jade, whether that's a year from now at WrestleMania, whether that's SummerSlam, whether that's 2 years from now. I don't know. Just think the end goal at some point is Bianca Jade. It's just where it happens. But last week, I've been pretty confident that Io is going to win this one for reasons like what JPJ said and what Pluggo said. She's kind of been the afterthought purposely, I think, of like that's been the story. And I do think that Io will continue to be the world champion after this match. But I will say I'm more certain about Rhea not winning than Io winning, if that makes if that makes 100%. Sense. Because I don't see Naomi and Jade getting involved in this match at all. I do think that story has more legs to tell with Bianca, but that's not yet. That's later down the line when we reveal, because I still think the big reveal is this whole Jade, Naomi crying thing. Like, it was all a ruse. It was all of that kind of stuff. Bianca was the mastermind behind this. I don't think she did it. I think she conned Naomi into doing it.
Correct.
And I think that's the thing. But I don't think that could be a year from now. WWE, especially now more than ever, don't mind waiting on things, and they can kind of just have Bianca kind of go through and be the champion for a year if they really wanted to. It's not hard. She's done it before. So I think that is end goal, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she needs a championship, because she doesn't. She doesn't need a championship to tell that story. But I just think all the way it's happened, it would probably be better. But I do think that Io will win if I'm gonna make a pick. But I do think this match will be. I would probably predict that this match will be the match of the weekend out of everything. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, it should be very good. I think you both make valid points. I'm really torn between the two, but I've been kind of leaning Bianca the whole way, and I'm going to stick to my guns with it. And Scott just said Bianca has been leaning more heel recently as well. She's worn nothing but all black since the Elimination Chamber.
I don't know if she's been leaning more heel or just the audience for whatever reason. Exactly. Really, the person who should be getting booed here is Rhea, because she has no claim to any. Like, Bianca won the chamber.
Yep.
She has no claim. Really, Rhea she took a contract and it was illegal. It's not how contracts work.
Yeah, she just signed them,
and then all of a sudden so
annoyed
Rhea's the one
getting
booed here, but it's Bianca getting booed for whatever reason. So really, she's not, to me, leaning heel. She's just like, what the fuck?
I do like that. I do like that Bianca, though, when the crowd starts booing her, like Bianca gives it back to him, like, we're not doing that.
I don't think. Like, I do like, because in a previous world of WWE, that would have just been ignored.
Yes,
and you don't comment on that. You don't. But they're just like, Bianca's like, now why are you?
What are you booing me for? Yeah, what are you talking about?
I've done nothing to you guys. Yeah. Like, I've done nothing wrong to you guys. I earned my match at WrestleMania. So why the hell am I having to do all this bullshit? Because Rhea Ripley lost. She's a loser in a sense. But for whatever reason, I don't necessarily think she's more leaning heel. I think it's the crowd. But WWE kind of lean into that a little bit more now, too, of like, oh, you're going to boo her. Let's give you a reason to boo her.
Yep.
So who knows where that plays into this. But Io, to me, Io's cool as shit.
Man. Oh, my. I love all three of these individuals.
Second rules. WrestleMania, by the way, going in as champ. So good for her.
I know, but and again, I think that's part of the reason why I lean Io too, is I feel like her losing the title at Mania 2 years in a row is like, do they want to do that?
That becomes
they want her to walk in as a champion 2 years in a row.
Poor Asuka, she's defeated at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Dustin in the chat says he thinks Io retains, and he sees Asuka as a surprise return on the Raw after Mania as the first challenger, which I think that would be cool. That'd be cool. I'd be in on that.
I wouldn't be mad at seeing Io and Asuka.
I would love to see Asuka just in general. I miss that woman. She fucking rules. Hopefully she's healthy or at least, doing good things. But all right, and now it's time. The main event of the weekend, the main event of night 2. It is a singles match for the undisputed WWE Championship. It is Cody Rhodes going one-on-one with John Cena.
That bitch John Cena.
Yep.
Yeah. Real piece of work you are.
You
John.
know, you said that you thought the night one main event would be cinema, as the kids say. I expect this to be, WrestleMania
man.
40. That match, right? This is where we're going right there. Josh, you are the guest. I'm going to let you go first on this one, but there's multiple questions here. Who comes down during this match? Do we see The Rock show up here? Travis Scott, all these people, and who do you think will be leaving WrestleMania 41 as the undisputed WWE Championship? Does John Cena break Ric Flair's record at WrestleMania?
All the pyro at the end. He's standing there.
They're not going to give him the pyro. He's a heel.
I don't know, man. It's John Cena. The Rock is in charge. The Rock is in charge. He might give this boy the
I don't know. My brain keeps going like this with it. I'm like, ugh. But at the beginning, when Cena originally won the Elimination Chamber turned, I said Cena's winning the championship at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I go back and forth, I'm still at the same spot every single time. No matter how many times I think about it, John Cena's winning championship at WrestleMania. I think there's just more to do with John Cena being the champion than there is if you go the other route. Mm-hmm. Now, I was on team when he announced his tour, his retirement tour. I was like, John Cena's last match should be for the WWE Championship. He chases it in various ways all year. His last match in Boston, he should win the WWE Championship. That was until, of course, he turned heel. I don't think anyone really predicted that he would turn heel in his retirement tour. So that kind of changed everything for me. I just think John Cena, like his promos of he's like, I'm going to ruin wrestling. Bring back that spinner, baby.
Did you notice when Cody brought all the belts out that the spinner they had there seemed to be like it was a little updated? It looked like a little bit different.
I think that's what the replicas look like.
Okay, because I was going to say, is that like going to be
because it looked a little dimmer, almost? It looked a little like
different,
silver,
and I was like, is that going to be an updated one when Cena brings it back after he wins?
But I do think that Cena, like, let's lean into that stuff. Now, how we get to the finish is a whole other story because I have genuinely no idea what to expect here in the best way possible. I just don't understand what the fuck is going to happen. There's going to be so much bullshit, I mean that kindly, that happens in this match. It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be like an hour of just like
entrance.
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I think though, based on, like I mentioned the pyro at the end, I think based on the way John Cena's like, I'm not changing anything, and the Rock's in his back pocket, he gets a pyro ending for breaking the record.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be pomp and circumstance. Maria says Chef Cobb comes out and helps Cena. That's out of left field. I know that would be interesting because he's muscle. He's a big guy.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I'm down. Why not? Like I said, I think I said the same thing last year at the main event. I have zero idea what we're going to see, but it's going to be something. It's going to be
the spinner belt to me too is, I understand a lot of people don't like that championship. I am personally, I grew up with the spinner belt. Like, that's a big part of my childhood as a wrestling fan, is the spinner belt. So, like, I guess to me, there's some nostalgia in it of like, that belt is just, I was 10 years old watching wrestling, watching Raw in 2006. You know what I mean? Like, I was, the spinner belt is a part of history. I know a lot of people hate it, which is fine. But you, as a kid, JPJ, you were watching that was me as a kid watching wrestling.
Yeah, I get it.
That age, like 2006, 7, 8, is when I was starting to understand what wrestling really was. Like, I wasn't a child. Like, I was like, wrestling is this bigger thing. There's other things out there. So, like, I just look at that title and just think of a time where I'm like running home from school and like, oh my God, I got to watch Raw. Like, I got to catch up. Like, that was me. That was me in 2006 and 2007 in a really poor time of wrestling.
Austin, you
young buck.
I'm young as toast. I'm still in my 20s. Let's go. Not for much longer.
Yeah,
but,
I was gonna say only for months, Josh. Just wait.
November.
My birthday's next week, man. I feel old.
Yeah, don't get me
wrong.
What
are you, 62?
Yeah.
67?
I'm a month away from a big round number. I'm a month away from a big round
80
number. Yeah.
The big 80.
Yeah, the big 80,
go, baby. JPJ was watching Gorgeous George when he was like
Luthez was JPJ's guy growing up.
No, I was more.
They didn't even call it. They didn't even call it a Luthez press back.
What is it?
They didn't even call it a Luthez press when JPJ was a kid.
They just called it a press.
It was just a press.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gorgeous George was coming out to the first known ring music. He was like, "Oh, this is in black and white."
Gorgeous George ruled ahead of his time. Ahead of his time, Gorgeous George.
That's why they call you Gorgeous JPJ, isn't it?
That's what they call me. That's what they call me.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody call you that ever. We've been together.
Well, I just did just then. So you're lying.
Pluggo. I know.
I just meant before this moment, the amount of hours I've spent with JPJ. No one's ever been like, "What's up, Gorgeous JPJ?" I hope they do now.
It's a damn fucking shame nobody said that.
You need to change your name on Twitter to Gorgeous JPJ.
Gorgeous JPJ. Yeah, JPJ.
That's a new gimmick right there.
Yeah.
You turn heel.
Yeah, turn heel. Gorgeous
Money.
JPJ.
Dashing JPJ.
Pluggo, where's your head at? John Cena.
Pluggo.
Sorry. I'm ridiculous. I took
winning
it
this
too far
title.
today.
Is he winning this title on Sunday?
He is.
Is he breaking the record?
There's more interest in him winning than Cody slaying the beast. We're forgetting about The Rock. The Rock he's not going to wrestle, but he's going to be there. There's got to be some shenanigans. He's going to throw the whole kitchen sink at Cody not winning. I think that there's an interesting wrinkle to I want to see what Cody Rhodes says after losing the title that he worked so hard to get. I think there's a very interesting promo in that and a very interesting chase during the Cena retirement tour. I'm going with John Cena for the first time ever because I have always been everybody but Cena. If Cena wins, we riot. But in this scenario, I think he has to win it.
Yeah, I don't think you do the heel. I don't think you do the heel turn if he's not winning this match.
Yeah, what would be I did all this stuff. I got in the Rock's back pocket. I still came up short.
At the bare minimum.
Whoopsie.
What was I thinking? Yeah. I made a tactical error here.
And that's as basic. Obviously we talked about the promos and all that stuff. That is but at the bare minimum of this to me. You don't turn him heel at the Elimination Chamber if he's not winning this match. Yeah. That just makes no sense to me. And I know, and look at you know me, I'm a wicked big pro Cody guy. I get it. It just would make no sense for Cena not to win this match after you did what you did turning him at the Elimination Chamber. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And then on the flip, if Cody Rhodes comes out on top after what we think is going to be one hell of a spectacle of throwing the kitchen sink at Cody Rhodes, then who beats him? How do you justify him losing at some other point where it's I just don't see it. I see you got to pull the trigger with Cena now because who's going to beat Cody Rhodes one-on-one ever again?
Well,
we're never going to have it.
I told you that I was going to be bringing back up a gentleman that we talked about at the beginning of this of Josh popping on here.
Ooh, who did we talk about? Jesse Ventura's coming out?
Yes, exactly. Jesse Ventura. No. Backlash is in St. Louis.
Yeah.
After WrestleMania. The graphic poster for Backlash is Randy Orton.
Oh, yeah.
Randy Orton has a long history with both John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Do we think that when this match starts breaking down and everybody's coming out and helping, do we think Randy comes out? I'll ask a two-point question. Do we think Randy comes out and helps Cody at all? Because he really has nothing to do really now. And then on the second point of that, if John Cena wins the title, like all three of us think he does, Backlash St. Louis, last ever Orton versus Cena match for the world title?
Well, I think that happens regardless of anything that happens at WrestleMania, whether Cena, whether Randy. I don't think Randy will be involved personally, but I do think that that's the match to have at Backlash because it's St. Louis, and St. Louis is notoriously a horrible crowd, but they love Randy Orton. I don't think he's involved at WrestleMania personally. But that being said, there's probably going to be 672 people involved in this match at WrestleMania. So why not just throw Randy Orton in there as well?
And again, originally I would have said no, but I think because now we are in a situation where nobody really knows what Randy is doing at WrestleMania now because of the KO injury, I'm like, do they just do something where, if The Rock shows up, if Travis Scott shows up, if other people are coming out to help, that Randy kind of comes out and at least shoes them away or something. That way, if John wins, he can be like, what the hell were you doing out? You know, like you can kind of ease. No, you don't need to build to Randy Orton and John Cena. You can just book that match, and the history of them is enough.
Yeah.
But
you don't need to do anything but just say that's happening, and you're like,
exactly.
Cool.
And I also think that this is a way. So let's say Cena wins on Sunday. You have Orton and Cena for the title in their last ever match with each other. And then Cena beats him. And then when Cody eventually beats Cena for the title again, that's when you can lean into Randy turning on Cody and being like, boom. And then you kind of get that long story that we've been waiting for them to give us forever with Cody and Randy. It feels like we've been waiting a while for that. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I do think because Randy's kind of floating around with like, we don't really know what the official plan is now for Randy. I'm like, do they throw him into something a little bit bigger for that getting to Backlash and things like that? So I at least wanted to bring that up. But we were actually, this is one of those WrestleManias that I feel like the build has been lackluster in general, but I do feel like once the show ends on Sunday night, we're going to be like, you know what? That was a really damn good WrestleMania. Because if you look at the card, the card is stacked. The card is stacked. Like it's going to be a really, really good show.
100%.
You know,
couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And I do think, Dustin says, I'm not sure what they're going to do, but looking at the end of WrestleMania 40, they're going to have something up their sleeves for this match, just like they did last. Maybe not to that extent, but like something will happen and bigger things will happen. I expect that as well. But I do think all of us are aligned that the one thing that we do expect is John Cena breaking that record and holding up that title to end the show.
There's going to be surprises. There's going to be returns. There's going to be parading out countless celebrities and endorsement spots, but there won't be any women's mid-card titles.
You love to see it. You love to see it. Just a fun old time. But, I know Josh and I have yelled about it for weeks now, as is everybody else. So not thrilled. Not thrilled about that aspect of it. But again, it's going to be a fun weekend. It's the biggest wrestling weekend of the year. And it's going to be a great show. And I think, again, like build aside, I do think we are going to get a really good WrestleMania. I
think that the build, and I talked about it earlier today, and we've talked about it. I think the build, because it's this weekend opposed to early February, they had a little more time. Then they threw the 3 weeks of overseas stuff in there, and I think that they just and then the Royal Rumble was a week later than it usually is as well. I think that the timing, they kind of were off on their timing a little bit. I think we wouldn't have complained as much if they waited a little bit on the Royal Rumble winners picking their opponents or something.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of it felt a little long in between.
Yeah, I thought I heard Sean Ross Sapp on his show with Jimmy Van this week. Sean said that Las Vegas asked WWE to do it this weekend because Easter weekend is notoriously a terrible weekend for them business-wise as a city.
Oh, I'm sure.
So they were like, "We want you to have WrestleMania Easter weekend because they wanted to. They wanted to do it early. They usually do it that first or second week of April, and this is obviously later." Sean said that Las Vegas, whoever they were talking to, to plan it out, the city was like, "We would really like you to do it Easter weekend if you can, because that's a notorious."
I'm not knocking them for doing whatever the city wants. You get your money, do your thing. Yeah. I just feel like the timing for them, I think they kind of stuck to their traditional beats of Royal Rumble winner's going to pick it the next week or the 2 weeks, and then they realize, oh shit, what are we going to do with Jay and Gunther and that's why Jay said the same thing for
a month.
I just feel like the beats were off, but they stuck to their traditional beats. And no, Shep, I'm not staying up for Bloodsport as much as I'd love to. I'm very excited. I am going to watch it tomorrow.
There is a WWE.
I have to.
Every match of that.
I have to work. I should have took the week, but again, WrestleMania is falling on Easter weekend, and I'm in a retail position, which means I need to be at work.
It's fucked.
Yeah,
I know, but if it was any other week like it's supposed to be, I would have took some.
Well, they go back
off.
to next week. It goes back next year.
I'm only home today because it's obviously Friday, so it's Good Friday, so everything's closed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In America, we don't close shit, so we would.
Oh really?
We
do here.
Because the only thing they do is the only thing they've really messed up everything is they gave the kids school off. So now me and my wife have to kind of work opposite because we don't have
Mrs. Pluggo. What
and
a
it's
woman.
it's her birthday this weekend. So Josh,
Oh, happy birthday.
make sure to shout her out and give her some love. She'll appreciate it more from you than me.
I could literally stand in front of her and she would just be like, he's the greatest person in the world. I don't
No,
have to do shit.
she's crazy about you, dude. I'm worried.
I get it. Trust me.
If you ever
I
make
get
the
it.
trek out
I'm
here,
adorable.
it might be the end of the Pluggos in the beginning. The Robinsons.
I don't think I need to marry a woman.
It's fair.
Unless it's Mrs. Pluggo.
I was going to say.
Called Mrs. Pluggo. I couldn't call her anything but Mrs. Pluggo.
Yeah, I was going to say, and yeah, Shep says, yeah, in America, retail, our retail establishments are open 365 days a year. We don't close on they might close on Christmas, but they open
for Christmas and Good Friday. The only days that like retail closes.
Yeah, it used to be Christmas all the time, but in the last 10 to 15
but it means I got to work. It means I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah,
a Saturday.
Stinks. Yeah, when Pluggo has to work this Saturday for him.
So I have to get home from. I only have to work until early afternoon, but I have to run home and then try and catch up on SmackDown, watch the Hall of Fame and the Adelaide Crows play at 3:00 tomorrow. So I have to have 3 screens on.
I definitely don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I'm very blessed in my retail position that I only have to work like 3 weekends a year. So I'm super blessed. Boy. I'm super blessed in that. It just happened that this year fell on WrestleMania weekend on Easter, and this is like
I don't work Sundays, which is lovely. I only have to work.
So Saturday I got lucky. So I sound like a complaint. What I'm going to end up doing with a lot of like the blood sports and some of the things so that I can be ready for my independent wrestling.
Listen, we should all know as wrestling fans, though, it is impossible to watch everything that happens WrestleMania weekend because it just overlaps. And especially for you guys, because they're on the West Coast in America. So everything's on really late for you guys. However, that's great for me because the Hall of Fame starts at 2:30 my time.
Oh, does it? Because it's 1 a.m. 1 a.m. the Hall of Fame tomorrow night.
Beautiful.
1 a.m.
Why is it going on at 1 a.m.?
That's what they're doing SmackDown like normal from 8 to 11. And it's
because it's 10 p.m. in the West Coast. Yeah. So then it starts
at a different venue down the street at some hotel at 10 a.m. on the West Coast. So it's literally live on Peacock at 1 a.m. tomorrow. Well, technically Saturday morning.
So what I traditionally do now
is baby.
My
viewing wrap up at like 5 p.m. Oh, I can't wait. Holy shit.
Traditionally, what Blair and I do now, and since I've changed it up because of 4 exposure, my collective watching is I'm not Boris. Big Bad Boris, shout out to him. He takes the week off and he watches everything. I will watch as much as I can, and then I will make sure to like look at some cards and pick out some matches that I must watch because it's impossible to watch it all. Shout out to everybody that does.
There's other things that I like to watch as well, like in the weekend, like the NBA playoffs are all starting.
Yeah, they start Saturday.
And like I have AFL to watch and I have other things to do over the Easter weekend. Obviously, because WrestleMania, don't forget, falls for me Sunday, Monday. So, there's all of that kind of bullshit too. And there's just a lot happening Easter weekend. And, we're doing like Easter things with my family and then I'm kind of having to like juggle around and stuff. So it's just horrible that it's on Easter weekend. Also, it doesn't help that it's like we're basically at the end of April. Why the fuck have we not had WrestleMania already?
That's what I'm saying. My psyche is like my internal clock is just whacked out right now. But Josh, I don't know if that's a great way to end the show. It's been fantastic to have you. Like when JPJ was like, Josh wants to come on, and I always tell him like, you don't even have to ask, just bring him.
Don't ask, just bring it.
Just bring it. This is your front yard too, Brainiac.
Yeah, this is your front yard too. I don't want that cherry. It upsets my stomach.
But we're super happy that you came on. Austin Shep saying, "Let's go Pacers." Let's see. I don't know. The East.
Please. The East is Boston's. Boston's only. Stop it.
I mean, there's a little team in Cleveland that.
Oh yeah, there's a little team in Cleveland. I'll be lucky if they go to 5 games against us. Please, give me a fucking break. Have a great regular season. Ooh, you had the best record. Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass.
He's such a Boston man, isn't he?
It's just my thing. Yes, he is.
Here we go. We've geared him up. It's like the Jack in the Box.
Where's the Boston anger comment?
When it comes to basketball, it's not anger. Please, easy. We can walk to the finals. However, I will say, if Jaylen Brown is actually hurt, which I fear he might be, it will be a little bit harder, but we should be able to get to the finals even without him. That's how much better we are than every other team in the East. Now, the West, we play OKC, that we could lose. We play Golden State with Jimmy Butler, who's mentally owned us, and we could lose. I worry about that. Denver just fired their whole fucking coaching staff 2 days
Denver
before the
just
playoffs.
blew
I don't know what
themselves
the hell they're doing. I don't know what that is.
It was a motivation.
Literally just went,
Yeah,
fuck
what
it,
the
who
hell
cares?
was that, man? Again, in a matchup sense, Denver matches up bad with us, but I don't know if that's something that team can get over right before the playoffs and make a run to the finals. I worry about OKC. I worry about Golden State having.
Are
a run
you
and
worried
going.
that Kristaps Porzingis had such a fun time?
He
at
had a blast last
AEW
night. He was sitting
that
front
he's
row at
going to
Dynamite
come
last
out a
night. He
little
was losing his
sluggish.
mind. He was losing his mind.
He was having
Like,
too much fun.
Listen, here's the thing, guys. And again, you call me a homer all you want. The Celtics won 60 games.
You are a homer.
I am.
Just
But
admit
they-
it.
I'm a
They won.
homo.
They
He muted himself on it. He muted himself after that. Excellent joke. Thank you for that.
by Josh and I
I
moved.
still
And if I don't pay my mortgage soon, I'm going to be a home no.
So mine.
he tried.
A
Good
no
for you.
home.
That was all right.
I got
That was
nothing.
okay.
You
tried.
guys got
You
it
tried.
locked in. I
You
got
tried.
nothing. I had to
Yeah,
come up with something, man.
My thing is the Celtics won 60 plus games this year. They had one of the best road records in the history of the NBA. There's 82 games in a regular season. Can you guys give me the number of games where the full arsenal of our starting roster played in the game together? Just guess. 82 games. How many games do you think we actually played with our full roster playing?
I think it was
normal?
honestly less than half.
It was in the 30s.
Yeah.
Sounds like a you problem, bud.
No, it sounds like they were resting
Well-
people and keeping our legs fresh so we can get to the
We'll
playoffs.
see.
And again, if Jaylen Brown is hurt, this all changes a little bit. I still think we walk to the finals because the East has got dog shit.
If only
besides us.
JPJ had an outlet to talk about this kind
Well,
of
I
stuff.
was gonna
on
say,
a regular
before you
basis.
leave-
Only.
I was going to say before you leave, we heard Spencer before he left saying congratulations to you on the Hive and all that stuff. So for anybody in the chat that might not have seen any cool graphics come out, your boy might be on one of them, involving the Hive and things like that. Why don't you promote your stuff and let the people know what's going on in the world of Josh Robinson?
Yeah, well, this is like the first time I'm talking about it like properly on camera, which is kind of weird because I've been planning it for a really long time and I didn't even know if it was going to get to the stage where I was like, this is actually happening. But now it is, and now I'm like, oh shit. But basically, June 2nd is the launch date for the Hive, and basically the Hive is going to be a content hub of all different kinds of podcasts and blogs and video content, gaming content, all different kinds of things. If it's content, it can belong on the Hive for sports, entertainment, gaming, pop culture. It's going to be kind of a hub of everything and just kind of bringing good people together. You can follow us everywhere at the Hive_media, pretty much across the board, or just go to my X or Instagram or everything, and you can just click on links in there, kind of see everything. But JPJ is a part of it. We'll have more kind of announcements on what he's exactly doing in the next little bit. There's more people coming and stuff like that. A few more people to announce and everything like that. But we're building a nice little team of people. It's kind of hard to, I don't know. JPJ was the first one to kind of know about this idea. I've been working on it since basically just before Christmas of like what the idea's changed and evolved a lot over the last little bit, but it's kind of morphed into this and I'm excited for it, but I'm also very nervous because I've never done anything like this. I've never been like the person that's like running something and I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm certainly trying. That's been my kind of MO for the last like 7 years of content is like, I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm confident about it. So I'm just going to kind of keep going that it's got me this far. So follow us everywhere. There'll be more stuff. It's kind of a little quiet right now. We're just kind of getting our gears rolling and like announcing who's going to be a part of it. And there's going to be some content and stuff like that. But can tell you in a couple of weeks, my Twitch will be back on the Hive Media for the first time. And I'll be doing some gaming content and stuff as I always have. It's going to be kind of along the same things. And you'll learn more about the Hive as I'm like just in conversation and stuff. But just go and follow the Hive at the Hive_media pretty much everywhere. And you can kind of get on the ground floor with the stuff that we're doing, because I think we're building really cool stuff. And there's going to be wrestling content on there. There's going to be all different kinds of sports content. So if you like a sport, you'll probably be covered at some stage, maybe not directly at launch, but you covered at some stage. But we know we've got some wrestling content. We got some NFL stuff. There's going to be some NBA stuff. If you're Australian like me, or you just know what the AFL is, there'll be AFL content. And there'll be more down the line as we kind of grow and expand. But I'm excited for it. JPJ is obviously, like I said, the first one to know, and he was just kind of like, I was like, should I do it? And he was like, well, yeah. Why fucking not?
You absolutely should.
Yeah.
You
Well,
absolutely
originally he said, I don't know why you're talking to me about it because I think you're a piece of shit. And then he said, maybe
that
you
was the
should try
first
and
thing.
do
I
it.
was like,
He said, did you go through my PR person? How did you get this number?
Yeah. Well, I booked JPJ through, I had to go through like a whole lot of people to get to JPJ.
Yeah.
And eventually he did. He was like, I'll give you 10 minutes. And then the first 5 minutes was him just running me down as the true piece of shit that I am. And then he said, well, give it a try because I'd like to just see you fail. You know?
Yeah. That's exactly what
And then he was like, I guess I can.
And then I was like, but anyway, announce me as the first content creator on the thing, please.
Well, he threatened me.
I
He
did.
said, you're not.
I was like, you
he
need to
said, "I know
announce
where
me
you
first.
live."
You need to announce me first. If you don't, I will expose you.
Yeah, and
That's what I
that was
did.
pretty much what
Blackmail.
happened because he has like
Blackmail
some
at its
dirt
finest.
on me.
Blackmail
And that's
at its
fine.
finest.
And I was fine to go along with it. So I announced JPJ, got the clout that I needed for it. Which is exactly. But yeah, in all seriousness,
you know, everybody they do this side quest of me just being this terrible piece of shit human being because I yell a lot coming from Boston.
Someone's just gonna see it out of context and be like, what an awful
Like,
man.
and then they're gonna see me yelling or swearing about some shit, and they're gonna be like, wow, that guy does suck, huh?
Oh,
Seniors making content. JPJ's like, fuck you guys. That's a fucking great comment.
I actually
holy shit,
because I'm not the oldest person that's part of the team, so I actually you know, I think that's just
you can
inappropriate.
spin it however
I
you
just
want,
think that's
man.
inappropriate. I just think that's inappropriate talking about the people that have.
to be fair, in all
older
seriousness,
age.
I asked JPJ first because I was like, I need to get JPJ's opinion because I know JPJ will tell me the honest truth though. He'll be like, I don't know if this is the greatest idea. You just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing fine. But you know, JPJ was always going to be the first person that I was like, well, if you want to do something, you can. And then it kind of just morphed from there. But yeah, we've still got people to announce, like I said, so there's still more people coming. Not heaps, but we've still got a few more. But there is people like JPJ being announced and Ophelia, who's in the chat. She's going to be doing a lot of, I think we made it pretty known what she's doing with some gaming content.
Mm-hmm.
We got Bryn, amongst a whole, I'm not going to run down everybody because I'll honestly just forget. And I'm a piece of shit for that. So I don't want to do that, but it's fun. And I think you should all go follow because I think we do have something special building. I really, really do. And I mean, I don't give Spencer very much praise in a public forum because yuck. But like Spencer is a big catalyst in my brain of like, well, Spencer did it and he did such a good job with this. And I was obviously a part of Love Wrestling for a long time. And I was like, when I left Love Wrestling, I didn't know what was next. I was just like, I've got to do something on my own because I feel like I want to. And of course, Love Wrestling gave me a platform for everything and they got me to where I was. But I was just like, what am I going to do? And then I was like, Spencer did something similar to this. Obviously, he's morphed into something way different and bless his heart. But I was just like, what can I do? And then I was like, instead of being a person that's like trying to reach out to media, why don't I become media? Why don't I do this? So then it just kind of morphed from there. And then here we are. And the Hive is where we're buzzing about to, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be the tagline. It's what's buzzing. I think I saw someone saying, I was like, that's actually kind of catchy.
Listen, I'm leaning in.
Yeah,
I'm leaning into
exactly.
the B
Like,
aesthetic.
the B aesthetic. So like, the Hive, it's what's buzzing.
Can I just be the guy that watches the B movie?
Horrible movie, by the way. That
Really?
person that falls in love. That person falls in love with a bee.
Yeah,
It's got some weird
Bestiality. That's what
It's
that
got
is.
some weird vibes to it, but it's anyway.
The dad from B movie is kind of hot though, in an animated way.
Wow.
All right.
Hear me out. Just
Hey, listen.
Speak on it, bud.
Hey, listen. Stand on business right now. You got to stand on business.
We're not here to judge. At this point, we're not judging.
Yeah. Oh, Spencer.
That's a horrible joke. I
All
love
right.
it.
All right. That tells me that we've gone too long. No, but I'm very excited about the Hive. We'll have some stuff on there that I'm looking forward to, some things that might be Boston related. You know, Josh mentioned NFL. He mentioned other sports besides wrestling. I am a sports lover through and through. So I'm excited about what's coming with that as well, and what I'll hopefully be getting into when it comes to the Hive and things like that as well. Pluggo,
Yes.
why don't you do that thing that you do where you plug our show, you plug your other stuff, because you do a whole lot as well. Let the people know what you got coming up on this crazy weekend, and then I'll do my thing and we can get up on out
I
of
don't
here.
really have a whole lot going on this crazy weekend, but I am at Pluggo on all social media platforms. You search Pluggo and you'll see my beautiful face. Spencer's almost done with the Braxis, and it's just good as he remembers. That's fantastic. I'm glad we could make that full circle. We stayed live just to see that. That's why we did that so long. I tried something new. Like I said at the top of the show, I went on Facebook today and talked about WrestleMania. I didn't realize until yesterday I could just go live whenever I want on Facebook, which was weird.
And we call JPJ old.
Yeah, right? I was like, I do all this other stuff. Why don't I ever utilize this? So I might try that out a little bit. Anyway, at B2B, at B2Beards on all social media for everything we got going on between two beards. You want to know what we got going on? We're live on all the social medias there. I believe JPJ and I are going to be hanging out for the night one reacts of WrestleMania, and then I'm pretty positive I'm going to pop in for the night two watch along that we're doing as well. And yeah, and that's no for exposure this weekend because, like I said, all the crazy stuff that's going on with the shoot job, the life, Easter, it just did not work out. So unfortunately, we will be back in a week with an interview with the Short Kings that'll be dropping on April 26th, also known as my birthday.
Wow.
Woo!
There you go. There you go.
Birthday.
You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms, including over on Twitch. I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend. I don't know if it's been released yet. I was told either late tonight or early tomorrow, but I hopped on the Kicking Out podcast. Again, it was me and Paul doing the two-man weave as we predicted perfect cards at the AEW Dynasty show. So we previewed WrestleMania. We did our picks for WrestleMania to determine who the tiebreaker is, and I'm hoping to bring the KOP title to B2B with the victory whenever that is released. Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m., I will be live right here on the Love Wrestling Twitch, where I will be with Drew and whoever else from Love Wrestling is available and wants to hop on. We are going to be doing a final prediction and preview show for WrestleMania leading into the pre-show at 4 p.m. Eastern. Like Pluggo said, myself, him, and Drew.
I like that Drew's calling it our title. Like, wait, he's got stakes in this too?
Are you doing a prediction show while Stand and Delivers on?
No, we're going to wait until Stand and Deliver ends. So,
because Stand and Deliver is on at 1, and then it goes straight into the pre-show. I think.
Yeah. So the pre-show will be happening, but it's a 3-hour pre-show with no matches. You don't need to watch.
Exactly.
You don't need to watch it at
Wow.
all. You can watch our prediction show.
JPJ drop affiliate.
That is not true. That is not true. I'm starting. Listen, 45 to 50 hours of my life that I've had the privilege of having for the last year is disappearing starting Monday.
Affiliate, you come hang out with me.
Things happen.
I know Affiliate's more of a JPJ guy than a Pluggo guy, but you can hang out with me. We'll make something happen.
Listen. So I have that Saturday afternoon. We're doing that. The night one reacts right after night one of WrestleMania. It sounds like it'll be Pluggo, Drew, and myself doing that. And then on Sunday, we are doing a watch along as opposed to a react. So I am not available on the watch along thing, but I am available for react. So I'm actually going to be hopping over on the bodyslam.net for a reaction, a post show for night 2 over there, because I'm going to be out for night 2 watching at a friend's. So I won't be here to be doing the watch along.
He's coming to my house, guys.
That's it. I'm flying to Australia literally tomorrow for it. So. So that is where you can find me this weekend. Pluggo told you where you can find us here. Moving forward, at least next week, and the hope is that firmly AEW, firmly WWE, we're going to become one show a week instead of the 2. It hopefully will be on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. moving forward, where we'll talk about both AEW and WWE as one with Drew. So a little bit of a change there. So follow us at Firmly Love Wrestling there for all the updates and things like that. But That's where you can find me. Body Slam after Raw Dogs over there, and me and my pal
Still a
Jose
great
on the
name.
air.
Holy shit.
Raw Dogs, right? It's just,
It's a
when he
great
told me that
name.
was the name, I was like, incredible. Can I say something? And it might be inappropriate.
Yes.
Last night I was at Dynamite.
On my show, but yes.
I know. Last night I was we're almost at 3 hours. Last night I was at Dynamite, right? And they had a segment on Dynamite where MJF was trying to buy his way into the Hurt Syndicate. And he did so by bringing a bunch of good-looking ladies down to the ring to entice Bobby and Shelton. Okay? I don't know if it came across on TV. No, I have to say it. I said it afterwards today, and both Jose and Drew were like, you should have said this on the show. And I was like, all right, I'm going to say it now. And this is just like, so I don't know if it came across on TV because the whole arena wasn't chanting it, but a good section of the crowd during this segment started chanting, the Hurt Business is we hurt, Hurt Syndicate is we hurt people. They started chanting, we squirt people.
Yes.
And my almost 40-year-old grown ass was laughing like a 5-year-old.
Checks out.
I was losing my mind like a 5-year-old when they did it. And I was in my brain, I was like, I hope this comes across on TV because I need everybody to hear. I was like crying laughing. It was so stupid, but hilarious. And I couldn't get over it.
Inappropriate. This is a family show.
On that note, what? People like fucking water guns, Pluggo. It's America.
Right.
Anyway,
you were saying where you're going to be this week.
Tremendous. It was so good. I couldn't get over it. I had to say it. I'm sorry. It's fucking 11 o'clock at night. I just fucking had to say it. I was sitting there going, me and like the people in my row are just dying laughing. Everything that's happened. I was like, this is incredible. Anyway, on that note, we're going to get out of here. Bless. WrestleMania, enjoy the weekend, y'all. You'll see me and Pluggo's face all over these Love Wrestling airwaves this weekend. Bloodsport starts in 10 minutes. Very excited. There's a lot of stuff going on. Josh, thank you for joining us. Thank you for going. Oh, Lucia. Thank you for going into overtime tonight with us. This was a good time.
I'll only charge a little bit of extra.
I was going to say it's WrestleMania weekend. If you got to go big or go home,
We
right?
put it
Am I
on
wrong?
Spencer's tab.
Am I wrong?
That's how that works.
Am I wrong?
We don't pay for nothing.
So we're going to get up on out of here. Hope everyone enjoys. Lou, I know I'm almost done, bro. I hope everyone gets out, enjoys WrestleMania, has a great weekend with all the fun wrestling. Be safe, be happy, do all the things, and hopefully we'll see you in our preview shows and post shows and all that fun stuff. And until then, you all know the drill. Say hi to Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Peace out.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm gonna cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer gonna get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans. Watch.